The European Championship qualifiers are brought to you on Eurosport by JVC.
It took 18 months of intense football, 230 matches and 678 goals to give birth to Euro 96. Tonight on Eurosport, we reflect in the next couple of hours the intense football that took place, the excitement, the passion, the jubilation and the disappointment. Some of the best football and footballers throughout Europe you'll see in the next couple of hours. The 8 groups, and with so much going right down to the wire.
The qualifying matches for the 1996 European Championship in England are underway. Yesterday, Israel were at home to Poland in Group 1, which also includes France, Romania, Slovakia and Azerbaijan. 3,500 spectators in Tel Aviv, and Israel taking the lead on 43 minutes. The cross from Tal Benin, finding Ronan Harazi. He beat Vanjik to make it 1-0 for Israel at half-time. So a good start for the home side, who are gradually improving in international football, and they could have made it 2-0 on 58 minutes. Balbul eventually hitting the post with this shot. But just a minute later, Israel were to take the lead, making it 2-0. Revivo eventually finding Ronan Harazi, and Harazi with his second goal of the game. Vanjik beaten again, and 2-0 for Israel at that point. The Poles were to pull 1 goal back. It came on 80 minutes. The goal coming from Kozecki, who beats Ginsberg. But 2-1 the final score. Israel's first home win in any international match in 5 years. They get their European Championship campaign off to a great start. In Group 4, Croatia travelled to Estonia, both nations making their debuts in the competition. This group also includes Italy, Ukraine and Slovenia. Croatia taking the lead through Suker, the top scorer for Seville in Spain last year. 1-0 for Croatia at half-time, and they made it 2-0 again through Suker on 72 minutes. 2-0 the final score for Croatia. And welcome back. The European Championship qualifiers begin this week, but one country without a match was Switzerland. They instead took on the United Arab Emirates in a friendly in Sion. And Switzerland with an early chance, a 1-2 between Sutter and Yarkin, saved though by Farouz. But Switzerland were to take the lead on 20 minutes, and what a way for the first goal to be scored. A lovely left foot shot from a full 30 metres by Alan Sutter of Bayern Munich. No chance for Farouz there, and Switzerland into a 1-goal lead. And they had plenty of chances to increase that lead. This corner from the left finding the header of Knupp, but that one hitting the post. And another chance from a similar setup. Again, the header of Knupp, but this time Farouz in the way. Indeed, the United Arab Emirates doing well to keep Switzerland out in the first half. Again, Knupp's head finding Farouz in his way. This time it was Yarkin with the header, that one going wide, and Chapuisa unable to find the goal, his header going into the side netting. 1-0 then for Switzerland at half-time. Switzerland dominating, and Farouz was to keep them out again in the second half. Notably, that wonderful save from the free kick by Yarkin. Switzerland reduced to 10 men when Yarkin was sent off, but they held on. 1-0 the final score. It could have been much worse for the Emirates. So 1-0 for Switzerland against the United Arab Emirates. 2 other major friendly matches being played this evening. Russia take on Germany in what looks a very interesting match, and another interesting match taking place at Wembley Stadium this evening. England take on the United States, looking for revenge for their defeat in the US Cup last summer. But the main interest tonight is in the opening qualifiers for the 1996 European Championships in England, and one match is already over. It saw Scotland travel to the Olympic Stadium in Helsinki to take on Finland, and the Scots taking the lead just on the half hour. Tommy Boyd of Celtic putting the ball over for Duncan Shearer of Aberdeen. Shearer injured in the goal, as was the Finnish defender Henela. Henela going off with a very nasty cut on his head, but Shearer with the goal. And Scotland off to a good start. It's not easy these days to go to Finland and try to take the points. However, Scotland were getting the best of what was turning out to be a rather open match, and Shearer had a great chance to make it 2-0 later in the half. Perhaps should have done better with that free ball at the far side, but his right foot shot going over the bar. However, Finland then had a great chance to equalise just before half-time. The mistake by Andy Gorham, his clearance finding Hjelm. Hjelm really wasting his chance. He had more time for the shot, but he found Gorham once again. Scotland breathed a sigh of relief, 1-0 to the Scots at half-time. Finland then came out with all guns blazing in the second half, and Miksu Patalainen of Bolton Wanderers had a good chance for the equaliser, but Gorham was in the way. And Scotland were holding on to their slender one-goal lead. However, they were to increase that lead to 2 goals and move into safety. After 22 minutes of the second half, the ball forward eventually finding John Collins. A lovely shot from him. He beat Jääkkönen to make it 2-0 for Scotland, and the Scots at that point looking just about assured of taking 2 points back with them to Scotland. So 2-0 to the Scots, and they had a chance to make it 3 towards the end of the match. The corner finding the head of Hendry, but again Jääkkönen in the way. Scotland had to make do with a 2-0 win. That was the final score this evening. Scotland take the points back from Finland. That's a good result for the Scots. They may well be pleased to have those points when their qualifying campaign comes to an end in about 18 months' time. So Scotland get off.
Public will once again come up against each other as they did in World Cup qualifiers. Earlier, Jack Charlton's team won 3-0 away to Latvia. Northern Ireland are now at home to Portugal. At Windsor Park for us, Jackie Fullerton.
Jilton to Fleming. Jilton again. He's given it away though. Sosa. Here's Costa. He could wind one up here. Oh, it's taken a deflection. It's in the corner. Just over 8 minutes gone here at Windsor Park, and the worst possible start for Northern Ireland. He got clear. I did say he could wind it up, and the man who signed for Fiorentina, well, he buried it, didn't he? Bottom corner. The £5 million man from Fiorentina. And that's just a sample of the Portuguese skill, and possibly why they're rated as favourites in this group. Here's Gillespie, Northern Ireland trying to hit back. Quinn goes in there, gets the head to it. Oh, and the keeper got a hand just to push it away from Gillespie. Jilton. Oh, Portuguese have it again. Costa. Very skillful player is Costa. Here's Sapinto. Turns his man, Sapinto! And he may well hold his head in his hands. Worthington leaves it for McDonald. Morrow has had to turn and hustle. Oh, we could be in trouble here. Sapinto lays it in, good save, and that was Costa who hit it. And Northern Ireland just too casual there. 10 minutes to half-time. Sosa just couldn't control it. Chance for Northern Ireland to break. Lomas feeds it wide. Hughes. Oh, the pace of Gillespie. Still with Gillespie. Drives it in low, deflection, and the keeper had to be sharp. But a good run from the youngster. Took the deflection, and Bahia had to readjust himself. Hughes across to take it. It's not away yet. And that was Magilton, I think, got his head to that one. The flag stayed down, but the referee on the spot. Yes, Magilton. All the way across. Little touch, but off the line by Pinto. That's Costa, just happy to get it downfield. Morrow. Fettis straight up the middle. Hughes. Worthington is wide. Good ball. Plenty of men in the middle. Gray tries to get there. Here's Lomas. Gray, oh, he's turned well, Gray. Seemed to be held back, brought down, penalty kick. Great run from Philip Gray. The Portuguese surrounding the referee. It looked as though Gray was being held here. And then, well, he's sent tumbling. And Northern Ireland, this could be their way back into this game. Quinn. Oh, yes! No mistake from Jimmy Quinn. And just look at that. They're on their feet in the north stand. Cool as you like. No chance for the keeper. And the red shirts break again. Here's Domingos. Still going. That was blocked by Morrow. But Portugal still have it. This is Folha, another deflection. Oh, Fettis has it. Is it in? It is. And it's given. Just 9 minutes left. And what a scrappy goal it was. And they can't believe it. Folha with the cross, another deflection like the first goal. There we see it, all sort is bouncing about. And would you believe it, he's just onto the pitch, and Domingos has put Portugal in front.
And in fact, that was the final score, and two other results in that group, just to repeat. Latvia 0, Republic of Ireland 3. Aldridge got 2 of those goals, 1 from the penalty spot, and Sheridan got the other. And Liechtenstein 0, Austria 4. Jimmy, any question for you?
Well, welcome to Eurosport News. European champions Denmark began the defence of their title last night. Their first match in Group 2 of the qualifiers away to Macedonia, one of 12 nations making their official debuts. And the Macedonians off to a dream start in the competition after just 4 minutes. Stojkovski with the goal, and that certainly surprised the Danes. 1-0 then for Macedonia at half-time. In the second half, Darko Panchev of Inter Milan, however, was sent off for his foul on John Jensen. That reduced Macedonia to 10 men, and that gave Denmark a fighting chance in the match. And indeed, they made the most of it, but they had to wait until just 3 minutes from time. The goal from Flemming Poulsen, giving Denmark a 1-1 draw in Skopje last night. That was the final score. Denmark breathed a sigh of relief. They scraped the points in Macedonia. Well, one of Denmark's major rivals in the group should be Belgium, who took on Armenia in Brussels last night. And the Belgians off to a very good start after just 3 minutes. Karabastian with the own goal. And Belgium with a chance to make it 2-0 just a few minutes later. Mark de Greyser of Anderlecht with a shot, but that one hitting the post. Well, Luis Oliveira had been involved in the first goal, and he nearly got one himself later on in the half, but that shot was saved by the keeper. And a further chance for Belgium in the first half. Josip Weber of Anderlecht with a header, but that one going wide. 1-0 at half-time. On 73 minutes, though, Belgium were further ahead. De Greyser getting his 19th goal in a Belgian shirt. That made it 2-0, and by now, Belgium were looking safe. And the Belgians really had plenty of chances to make it 3 or even 4-0 last night. Again hitting the post there, and Philippe Albert of Newcastle with a chance late on, but that one was saved. 2-0 the final score, a win for Belgium on a night when Michel Prudhomme collected his award as top goalkeeper in the world in this year. So looking at Group 2, the other result we don't have is Spain winning 2-1 away at Cyprus. And if we look at the group after one match, Belgium lead from Spain, Macedonia are then third, and then come Denmark, Cyprus and Armenia.
Prácticamente todos los jugadores en la zona central del campo, en el círculo central prácticamente metidos todos los jugadores, ahí los ven. Ha cortado Hierro, Guardiola, el balón se lo lleva a Maviska para Sergi, son los dos hombres que deben intentar entrar por esa banda izquierda. Hasta el momento no lo han hecho prácticamente en ninguna ocasión, sí lo han hecho más Goicoechea en la derecha. Atención a esta jugada de ataque que termina con ese centro larguísimo, demasiado, de Yannou. Ha sacado bien ahí Camarasa para Guardiola. Guerrero muy bien ahí. Ahora tienen espacio y menos hombres en esta posibilidad, en este ataque del equipo español. Guerrero ha jugado bien el desmarque ahí. Higuera y gol. Muy bonita la jugada de Higuera, el desmarque de Higuera y el primer gol del equipo español a los 17 minutos. Lo acaba de marcar Higuera. Era una buena ocasión esa salida en el contraataque. Qué bien salió Julen Guerrero. Qué bien se abrió Higuera, le marcó Higuera el desmarque perfecto. Ahí lo vean, entre los dos centrales. Qué bien lo vio también Julen Guerrero, no era fácil meter ahí el balón. Y cómo bien evita al guardameta. Así pues, a los 17 minutos se adelanta España en el marcador. El gol de Higuera. 18 minutos de juego del primer tiempo. Chipre 0, España 1, ha marcado Higuera. Juega de nuevo la selección española, es Sergi quien tiene el balón. Estamos en el minuto 25 del primer tiempo, gana España por 1-0 a la selección de Chipre. El envío de Hierro hacia Camarasa. Camarasa ha jugado ahí para Goicoechea y Pitas, que le hizo falta. El capitán Pitas y Goicoechea están peleando con bravura ahí prácticamente todas las jugadas. Va a sacar Guardiola, de nuevo se adelantan Hierro y Nadal a acompañar a Higuera y a Guerrero. Atención al lanzamiento de Guardiola. Ahí va el lanzamiento de Guardiola y el gol. El segundo gol de España. Al lanzamiento de Guardiola acaba de marcar Higuera el segundo. El propio Higuera acaba de marcar el segundo gol a los 25 minutos. El 2-0, el lanzamiento de Guardiola y de nuevo Higuera. Acaba de marcar el segundo, observen ahí el lanzamiento, cómo se adelanta. Bueno, prácticamente lo ha marcado el central, el defensa en propia meta. El 2-0, ahí lo vemos, como toca ligeramente Higuera y también parece que toca en el defensa. En cualquier caso, el 2-0.
In Group 3, World Cup quarter-finalists Romania played host to Azerbaijan in Bucharest. Romania playing this time without Gheorghe Hagi, but they took the lead a minute from half-time, the goal coming from Belodedici, who plays his football in Spain for Valencia. So Romania leading 1-0 at the break. And 13 minutes into the second half, the Romanians made it 2-0. That foul at a very dangerous point outside the Azerbaijani penalty area, and the free kick finding the head of Dan Petrescu of Sheffield Wednesday. That made it 2-0 for the Romanians. The Azeris really struggling to match the football of Romania, and the Romanians made it 3-0 with just 2 minutes to go. Florin Radiucioiu, who plays for Espanyol in Spain, making it 3-0, and that was the final score. And World Cup quarter-finalists Romania get off to a winning start in their campaign for the 1996 European Championship. While Slovakia were another former Yugoslav republic making their official debut, Josef Venglos's men at home to France. France, who qualified for the last European Championship with a 100% record. And they had their chances in this match last night, though it wasn't a great performance from France. Eric Cantona there in the first half, but that one going wide. This was Cantona's first appearance as captain for France in an official match, and he won't be too happy with it. It ended goalless, and chances for Slovakia even to take the match in the second half. That one from Tomaszek, though, also going wide. 0-0 the final score. Far from impressive from France last night, and there'll be no 100% record this time around. So let's look at how they stand now in Group 1 after just one match. Romania are out there in front. Israel, who beat Poland at the weekend, as second. Then come France and Slovakia on 1 point. Poland and Azerbaijan have yet to score a point in the group. It could be very interesting in Group 1. In Group 3, Hungary were at home to Turkey in what turned out to be one of the best of yesterday's matches. Hungary taking the lead in this match, the goal coming after 4 minutes and scored by Josef Kiprich of Feyenoord. And the Turks really suffering in the first half. On the stroke of the half-time, Halmai made it 2-0 for Hungary, and the Hungarians at the break looked just about assured of taking the points. However, the half-time chat seemed to work for the Turks, and on 67 minutes, Sukur pulled one back for the visitors. He looked suspiciously offside, but the flag stayed down. Sukur perhaps timing his run well. And Turkey now was certainly back in the game. And indeed, they were to grab the equaliser just 4 minutes later. The goal this time coming from Bülent, and that was the way it ended. Hungary 2, Turkey 2. Turkey coming back well, and they could well cause a number of problems in this group for other teams this time around. Well, in the same group, Sweden, who were third in the World Cup, travelled to Reykjavik to take on Iceland. Just one goal to report. It came on 37 minutes. Claes Ingersson, another Sheffield Wednesday man to score, making it 1-0. That was the way it ended. No other goals in the match. Sweden take the points against Iceland last night. So let's take a look at how they are in Group 3. Sweden lead, they take 3 points, as there are 3 points now on offer for a win in the European qualifiers. Hungary and Turkey shared the points, so they are now equal second with 1 apiece. Iceland and Switzerland, who haven't played a match, yet to get off the mark. And welcome back, and so to Group 4, where Ukraine also made their official debut. They took on Lithuania in Kiev. No score at half-time in this one, but Ukraine, the first team to create chances in the second half. The Ukrainian authorities had offered a sports car to the player who could score their country's first ever official goal, and Nagorniak with a chance in the second half, but that one was saved, and from then on in, it was all Lithuania. A minute later, Ivanauskas, who plays in the Bundesliga for Hamburg, opened the score for the visitors. And indeed, one other goal in the game. It came after 61 minutes for Skarbelius. We unfortunately don't have the pictures of the second Lithuanian goal. 2-0 though the score, and that is a very good away win for Lithuania in Kiev last night. However, they're not top of the group. That honour goes to Croatia, who won earlier in the week. Italy could only draw with Slovenia last night, so those two are level on 1 point in joint third place. Ukraine and Estonia, who lost to Croatia, are both level with no points yet in the group. The Netherlands are the favourites in Group 5, and they had a reasonably straightforward opening match away to Luxembourg last night. The Netherlands opening the scoring on 22 minutes. Brian Roy of Nottingham Forest, the man with the goal, and the men in orange led by a 0-0 at half-time. And the floodgates were to open somewhat in the second period. The next goal came on 62 minutes, and it came for Ronald de Boer, unmarked at the far side. The ball coming over, and de Boer in the centre, making it 2-0 for the Dutch. And the Ajax player was to bag his second goal of the evening just 2 minutes later. Again, Holland doing almost what they wanted with the ball. And that was a lovely shot from de Boer, running onto the ball with the left foot. 3-0 for the Netherlands. Really no problems for the Dutch last night. And they wrapped up a 4-0 victory. Wim Jonk of Inter Milan with the final goal of the game. It came in the very last minute. 4-0 the final score, and that's a solid away win for the Netherlands to get their European campaign off. Well, still in Group 5, Norway were at home to Belarus. The Norwegians perhaps hoping to ease the memory of a poor World Cup with a big win over the newcomers. However, it was to be a very tough match indeed for the Norwegians last night. Just one goal to report, and it came just 2 minutes from time. Norway literally stealing the victory with a goal from the substitute Geir Frigard. That made it 1-0, a very tight win indeed for the Norwegians. But nevertheless, they take the points, and they are second, indeed third in the group, behind the Netherlands and the Czech Republic, who were 6-1 winners at home to Malta. Behind those three come Belarus, Luxembourg and the Maltese. The Republic of Ireland play in Group 6, and last night they took on Latvia away in Riga, and the Republic were to score the first goal on 16 minutes, the goal coming for Tranmere Rovers' John Aldridge. Well, with 3 points for a win, away victories could be very precious in these European qualifiers, and the Republic did all in their power to increase their lead. And on 29 minutes, John Sheridan of Sheffield Wednesday, another Sheffield Wednesday man on the score sheet last night, scoring his third goal for his country, and the Republic now with a 2-0 lead. Latvia, however, had a handful of chances, and they could perhaps have pulled one back early in the second half. Bono was beaten, but the ball hitting the bar. However, it was to be the Irish who got the only other goal in the match. 75 minutes, the corner from the right hitting a hand, the referee deciding that was worth a penalty. And up stepped John Aldridge to take it. He doesn't miss many of these. He didn't miss that one. His second goal of the evening, 3-0 for the Republic away against Latvia, and that's a good start for Jackie Charlton's men. So let's round up Group 6. Austria were 4-0 winners away at Liechtenstein, and they now top the group. Northern Ireland had a disastrous start to their qualifying campaign, losing 2-1 at home to Portugal. In the group, it's Austria from the Republic, Northern Ireland, that should be Portugal ahead of Northern Ireland, then come Latvia and Liechtenstein. In Group 7, Wales were 2-0 winners over Albania, the Welsh goals coming through Coleman and Giggs. Moldova had a useful away win. They beat Georgia in the battle of the newcomers. Those three top the group. And then come Albania, Bulgaria and Germany. Bulgaria and Germany who are yet to play. In Group 8, Scotland began their European campaign in Helsinki, where they took on the ever-improving Finland. And Scotland were to have a good evening last night. Tommy Boyd of Celtic, his cross on 30 minutes, finding the head of Duncan Shearer. Shearer playing his first full international. And the Aberdeen man giving his team a 1-0 lead. A clash of heads, though, in the goal. Off went Henola with a head injury after that. But Scotland were leading 1-0 at the break. After 22 minutes of the second half, Scotland were to go further ahead. John Collins with the goal. That made it 2-0, and that was the final score in Helsinki last night. A disappointing start for the Finns, 2-0 though for Scotland, and that could be 3 very useful points indeed. However, Scotland aren't on top of the group. That honour belongs to Greece, who were 5-1 winners in the Faroe Islands last night. Greece and Scotland with 3 points. The rest of them have no points. Russia and San Marino are yet to play.
Scotland manager Craig Brown was hoping to avoid one of those embarrassing trips abroad, and everything went nicely to plan as Scotland scored a goal in each half against Finland.
Scots doing their utmost to get a passing game going in the middle of the field. Been a good patient attack, this. McStay has played Boyd in, and that's towards Shearer. Oh, that's a terrific goal. Collins. McLaren. McStay. Collins. Walker. Collins. Good approach play again. Shearer once more. It was a clear side of goal for Duncan Shearer. Here is Ian Jess. Alan McLaren. Oh, the header by Lindbergh is dangerous, and the shot from Collins is very dangerous. It's 2-0 to Scotland.
Well, we came here and we had possession of the ball for long periods of the match, 10 minutes of the game.
In Cardiff, Wales couldn't afford any slip-ups against Albania. They needn't have worried. Ryan Giggs was in inspirational form and sent them on the road to a 2-0 victory.
Giggs, Blake down the left side. Oh, and he got away from Varta very well. Blake, now has he got a good cross on him? Giggs is in there. And it was Chumba who put it behind for the first corner of the match. A really promising break by Wales, and again it came down that left touchline, but this time it was Nathan Blake involved. In comes the corner, and it's in! Chris Coleman. Giggs, well struck. It was worth waiting for. And Mike Smith, very animated as his team go ahead by 2-0. Giggs will keep this in play. Now what can he do here? He's running at Chumba, gets past him, goes past Shulku, still Giggs, going very wide. Oh, he's gone past 5 of them, and then drilled it into the side netting. In the end, he'd gone just a little bit too far. Giggs, oh, look at, he took it in his stride. It's like he's got wings on his feet sometimes. Giggs, twisting and turning, left foot shot! It would have been another wonderful goal from Giggs.
I wished...
52 days after Italy lost the World Cup final on penalties, they were stunned by Slovenia. The offside trap breached by Glia, whose failure to control the ball confused Pagliuca, leaving Udovic with a simple tap-in. Italy were without Roberto Baggio and looked very unconvincing. But they equalised from this corner when Costa Curta was given a second attempt to put the ball into the net. Suddenly, though, the easiest route to the finals looks to be a minefield for Italy.
También. Continúa Nadal. Higuera. Juega Higuera para Hierro. Cambió Hierro a la posición de Luis Enrique. Deja para Sergi. Sergi y Luis Enrique son los dos hombres españoles que entran por esa banda izquierda. Luis Enrique, Hierro. Cambia ahora a la posición de Higuera. Se incorpora también Ferrer. Se le fue el balón a Higuera. Ferrer. Ferrer no llega. Caminero. Recuperó Sergi. Se le fue un poquito el balón a Sergi. Muy bien controlado Sergi. El disparo de Sergi. El balón al palo. Y Salinas ha marcado el 1-0. Gol de Julio Salinas a los 15 minutos tras el fenomenal disparo de Sergi. Acaba de marcar Salinas el 1-0 tras el disparo de Sergi. Ahí lo vemos. Estupenda la jugada de Sergi. El disparo y el remate de Salinas. El 1-0 para el equipo español. Ahí vemos de nuevo el disparo de Sergi. El balón al larguero y Salinas, que adelanta al equipo español en el marcador. Es el gol número 20 de Julio Salinas en 48 partidos internacionales. Stojkovic. Nadal. Hierro. Salinas ha dejado ahí muy bien para Caminero. Y la falta de Naidowski es merecedora de tarjeta. Vamos a ver cuál. Había algunos hombres a su lado. No era claramente el último hombre. Tarjeta amarilla para Naidowski. Insisto, corrían junto a él Jovanovski. Es Caminero el que sigue ahí en el suelo. Vamos a ver si permite. Ahí vemos de nuevo la jugada. La falta de Naidowski es clara. Queda momentáneamente el equipo español con 10 hombres. Está Begiristain haciendo ejercicios de calentamiento. También Amavisca. Mientras Nadal y Hierro se preparan para el lanzamiento de la falta. Ahí va Hierro. Y Salinas al palo. Le ha derribado luego el guardameta. Higuera, el balón al palo y Salinas. El segundo increíble. 2 balones al palo. Un penalti a Salinas. Y finalmente Salinas acaba de marcar el 2-0 en el minuto 24. La serie de rebotes favoreció finalmente y vemos el disparo durísimo de Hierro. El remate de Salinas, de nuevo al palo, tocó el portero lo suficiente. Ahí como le derriba el guardameta a Salinas. Higuera, de nuevo toca en el portero y al palo. Y finalmente Salinas marcó el 2-0, minuto 24 de este primer tiempo. 2 goles de Julio Salinas, 21 goles con la camiseta de la selección española. Con este lleva marcados Julio Salinas en 48 partidos internacionales.
Mark de Grijze en Weber gaat. En de Grijze heeft het gezien en gevoeld. Josip Weber, vrij in zijn rug. Goeie dribbel van Josip Weber, komt de voorzitter. Daar is de voorzet, ja! Onvoorstelbaar, de Grijze scoort. Josip Weber en Mark de Grijze brengen de Belgen op voorsprong. Ik ben onderweg in het vuur van de strijd het aantal hoekschoppen vergeten. Maar ik schat 7e, 8e hoekschop voor de Denen. Nielsen. Rieper met het hoofd. Vilfort en hij gaat binnen. 1-1. Kim Vilfort. Strudaal. John Faxe-Jensen staat net op het veld. Seconde. De man van de bliksemstart. John Faxe. Lars Olsen. Oh, mooi. Mooi van Brian Laudrup. Dat hakje. Lars Olsen. En daar is Brian Laudrup opnieuw. Strudaal 3-1. Ja. Was het gevaar van het spel. En nu is de kous af natuurlijk. De Denen winnen deze wedstrijd.
More football, and it's the week of the Euro 96 qualifiers. Nowhere will it be colder than in Kiev. A crowd of 500 to see Ukraine against Estonia. Ukraine in the blue. Taking the lead, a brilliant goal from Konovalov, worthy of a bigger audience. Nothing went right for Estonia just before the break. An own goal made it 2-0. The unfortunate scorer, Kiers. And into the second half, and Gusinov making it 3-0 to the Ukraine. That was the final score. So Ukraine move up to third place in Group 4. Estonia still searching for their first point.
Happens tonight, and our commentator at Windsor Park, Belfast, is Tony Gubber.
Ireland's north-south rivalries are nothing like as hostile in Belfast tonight as they were a year ago. But it's still a high-tension match in which Northern Ireland have been forced to make 3 changes. Steve Morrow can't get into Arsenal's first team at the moment, but with Alan MacDonald suspended, he's asked to captain Northern Ireland tonight and play in central defence. And with regular keeper Tommy Wright taken ill, there's another unexpected cap for Paul Key, who only plays part-time football in the Irish League while working as a coalman. Well, Key did play in the North's excellent 2-1 win in Austria, but in another change from that winning team, Michael O'Neill of Hibs is in midfield, with Steve Lomas also suspended. Only 3 of the team hold regular places, though, in Premier League sides. In contrast, only 2 of the Republic's 11 play outside that top division. Tranmere's John Aldridge is one of them, and he's one of the most prolific goal scorers the game has produced, already past 400 goals. There's no place for World Cup hero Ray Houghton. Roy Keane of Manchester United is likely to be on the right side of midfield. The wearing of the green shirts tonight is the privilege of Northern Ireland as the home side. The Republic content with green shorts. And the Republic have yet to concede a goal in this qualifying group after 2 matches. Here's Michael Hughes for Northern Ireland, currently playing with Strasbourg in France. O'Neill in to the centre, tries to take the return from Gray. And the first Northern Ireland attack has been dealt with. Here's Roy Keane. Nigel Worthington, one of the 3 in the northern side who do command regular places in the Premier League. Ian Dowie is another one. That was awkward for Alan Kelly to deal with. Hasn't conceded a goal for the Republic in 3.5 games. Good flick on by Dowie. Gray arrives. Whistle has gone, though, I think, for a free kick against the keeper. Well, it's twice that Ian Dowie has proved his value with a little flick on, that time trying to link up with Gray of Sunderland. The Republic were 3-0 winners in their first qualifying game away to Latvia, and then 4-0 winners against Liechtenstein in their first home match, and now forcing a corner in front of a crowd of about 10,500 here in Windsor Park, severely limited by the FIFA regulations which demand all seated. Dennis Irwin to whip it in. Aldridge's header, and the keeper was caught. It's an early strike for the Republic with just 6 minutes played, and the arch goal scorer John Aldridge, his 17th international goal from Irwin's corner. But maybe a mistake there by Paul Key, the keeper from Ards, who was called in because Tommy Wright had a virus. His positioning didn't look that great, and that's a great start for the Republic. Fleming, who stepped up. Irwin in quickly, offside against Staunton. Northern Ireland were beaten in their last home qualifying game And they may be in for a second one here. The Republic, Roy Keane has given the Republic their second goal with 10 minutes gone, and it's threatening already to be a terrible night for Northern Ireland. No doubt the side has been badly weakened by the loss of the first choice keeper Tommy Wright, but again that one was really tight to the body of Paul Key, and Roy Keane of Manchester United just steered it right underneath him. It's 2-0. We've had barely 10 minutes, and it's going to be a long, cold night here at Windsor Park for Northern Ireland. Dowie, Michael Hughes, good ball back into the middle. Dowie gets a good header. An early response from the north and from Dowie. He won that very well and clearly tried to direct it down to the foot of the post. McGrath getting the benefit of the bounce, but giving it to O'Neill. Gillespie, who's come onto this left side. Gary Fleming. Michael Hughes. Fleming. Worthington will retrieve it. There's Babb's header out. Gray underneath. Hughes had the shot. O'Neill has another. Oh, it's just wide of the post. But it's better now from Northern Ireland. They've got a grip on the match. They've got the teeth into it. But they've given themselves a real task after conceding those two early goals. Michael Hughes' shot that was blocked first. And then Michael O'Neill trying to place it in that corner, and it just shaved the post. The Republic's 2 wins against the North both came in games played in Dublin by the same scoreline of 3-0. Looks as though Staunton will strike this one. Staunton, left-footed. Good strike by Roy Keane. Might just have pulled something then as he hit that, Roy Keane, because his hand immediately went to the back of his thigh. And having already got his first goal of the season. And Roy Keane is struggling. I'm not sure whether he actually did that when he hit that ball. Here's Fleming. Goes on the outside of Staunton. Good ball delivered in. Michael Hughes just lost his footing because it was behind him. Here's Nigel Worthington. O'Neill. He succeeded in turning. Knocked in right-footed. Good header by Gillespie. The Manchester United teenager coming a long way to meet that. And the glancing header might have tested Kelly a little more. Babb is the back man. Here's Dennis Irwin. Aldridge just got half a yard on Taggart. Sheridan, it's 3. And it's threatening to be a rout. It's the same scoreline by which the Republic have twice previously defeated Northern Ireland. The difference is that those 2 earlier occasions were both in Dublin. This is in Belfast. John Sheridan spotted the chance from yards away. He got up to claim the ball, and there was only one outcome when it was one-on-one against the keeper. Lovely little touch there, though, to put him free. Just placing it wide of Paul Key. And the Republic lead by 3-0. And as we approach half-time, Roy Keane not able to continue any longer as a result of the injury that he picked up earlier, and is replaced by number 15, Jason McAteer of Bolton, on to win his 12th cap. As Worthington tries to get in across, maybe Hughes can. Half-time in Windsor Park couldn't surely have come soon enough for Northern Ireland, who find themselves facing the possibility of a real hammering from their Irish neighbours, the Republic. 3-0 down at half-time. A weakened Northern Ireland side, it has to be said, but they've made very few chances against the Republic, while at the other end their defence has been leaking goals. Darren Patterson of Crystal Palace on at the start of the second half for Northern Ireland, a half in which Brian Hamilton's lack of choices as the Northern Ireland manager were cruelly exposed. His team threatening to be overrun at 3-0 down, and the Republic looking to go top of the qualifying group with what would be 3 wins out of 3. Kelly. And Patterson just preventing it getting to Niall Quinn. McGrath. Well won by Dennis Irwin. Here's Babb. Fleming. Dowie. Shout was from Magilton. Little touch on to Michael Hughes. He's had to go quite wide. Well, it was promising. It didn't quite come off for them. Hughes is disappointed. But the little flick header and then the touch were all taking him wider and wider of the target. Patterson looked as though he was all over the back of Quinn, but the referee allowing play to go on. Here's Andy Townsend. It's 4. And it's an increasingly unhappy night for Northern Ireland. Maybe a hint of a foul a little earlier, but the referee happy to let play continue. And again, the shot from Townsend, you'd have to say, was very close to the body of Paul Key. Just a little look up, and he didn't hit it that sweetly. But it's 4. Hughes. Well, the shout was hold it, but nobody for the North seems to have it long enough. They've got a free kick here, which Morrow has placed. At least it's given them a chance to put bodies into the Republic penalty area. Again, Dowie looks at the flick on. Gillespie's there. And Alan Kelly kept very calm, made it look easy. Just tipped it away from the attacker. Used his fingertips. Fleming shown a lot of it to Andy Townsend. Here's Staunton, who's skipped away from Patterson. And he's got plenty of time to look up and swing that trusty left foot. Here's Jason McAteer. That was deflected. Morrow, who's put it out. Corner to the Republic. Staunton prepares to take the corner. John Sheridan, who's come tight up to him, and they've taken it short. Kelly. Aldridge. He always knows where the target is. And that shot from the Tranmere player was so plumb in the centre of goal, it was right into Key's chest. Never shows a lot of emotion, Jack Charlton, unless he's falling out with FIFA officials. And Dowie leaving it for Fleming. Again, Dowie helps it on. Then Michael Hughes. Snapshot from Hughes, they claim a deflection, and the Swiss referee agrees. It's a strike by the North, which at least has met with approval from the crowd of 10,500. Hughes has placed it for the corner. There are plenty of green shirts to look for. Header down low, and Kelly was forced to a save. They haven't scrambled it yet. Patterson arrives, and he's missed, but it took another deflection, and it'll be another corner. But it was the diving header, I think it's by Jerry Taggart, which forced Alan Kelly into his first real save. Then what a melee as the ball got loose. And Patterson's shot was deflected. Hughes with the second corner. Dowie was there, it came off McGrath. Again, it's still there, and at last the North are putting the Republic defence under pressure. In it comes from Hughes to the back post, and the header again was from Taggart, this time over the bar. That's perhaps as close as Northern Ireland have come. McAteer. Good turn by Townsend. The point of attack switched to this side. Here's Steve Staunton. Taggart's header. Here's Gray. There was none of the tension or hostility that figured in this match here a year ago, and it was Jack Charlton's Republic of Ireland who profited. A warm handshake between him and Brian Hamilton, but it's a stern and a humiliating defeat for Northern Ireland. Townsend, the Republic captain, with the fourth goal 10 minutes into the second half, and you'd have to say as a neutral it might have been more than 4. Maybe the Republic just took the foot off the pedal at the times, and there was just nothing in the match for Northern Ireland, and that's a severe blow to their hopes of qualifying for the European Championship. A final scoreline of Northern Ireland 0, the Republic of Ireland 4. It's the heaviest defeat that the North have suffered at the hands of the Republic. And Jack Charlton's team well worthy of the victory and the points, which now put them top of the group.
Well, I'm gutted really, because I think the team played badly. I mean, we were beaten by a better side, but they did not do it all. You know, we did a lot of it ourselves. We started off badly. We give people responsibilities in dead ball situations, and if that doesn't happen, you find yourself 1 goal, 2 goals down, 10 minutes. It's a big, big job. We're a young side, and as well as we played in Austria, we've played as badly tonight, and I suppose that's going to happen.
None of the tension, really, and hostility that there was about this fixture in the World Cup qualifier a year ago.
I mean, you know, the crowd here might have been a little bit more loud, but I mean, they were stunned. I mean, I was stunned, sat where I am. You're suddenly going to goal up, another goal up, and you're finishing 3 up, and the crowd have got nothing to say. I mean, how can they abuse you when they get beat 3-0?
You're top of the group, three games, 3 victories,
we've
no
had 3,
goals conceded.
We've got 11 goals for, none against. And we've got 9 points. We've got Northern Ireland to come in Dublin. We've got Austria to come in Dublin, and Liechtenstein away. Another 9 points from those 3 games, which is what we'll be aiming for. We'll see us with 18 points and all the best kid.
I think he's happy. The Republic of Ireland go top on goal difference above Portugal. Northern Ireland remain 3rd, and the 2 teams' next group match is indeed against each other again, but in Dublin in March. He's had some kiss in the Russian team, and the commentator is Clive Tilsley.
There's no nation in European football keener to qualify than Scotland. And tonight's match will tell us a lot more about their prospects of reaching the championship finals in England. Manager Craig Brown has some injury problems. Colin Hendry, Paul McStay, and a handful of goal-scoring possibles all absent. Chelsea's John Spencer is left waiting for his first cap on the substitutes bench. The attack led by Scott Booth of Aberdeen and John McGinley of Bolton Wanderers. Skipper Gary McAllister is the only other English-based player in the team. It's a very different Russia from the team that bowed tamely out of the World Cup finals Our new coach has tempted back 4 of the old faces who refused to travel to the USA, amongst them Andrei Kanchelskis, currently in the best form of his Manchester United career. The referee tonight is the Swede, Bo Karlsson. Scotland's qualification bid begins in earnest here tonight. The 3 fancied seeds in the group have all tuned up with resounding wins over the wing and a prayer nations like San Marino and the Faroes. This is the first of the summit meetings, which will determine which 2 from Scotland, Russia and Greece make it to the finals south of the border. Radimov on towards Radchenko, just stole a yard there on McKinney. He's on his own, Radchenko, and he forced a save from Gorham, showing his pace on the break, and there's plenty of that commodity in this Russian lineup. The shot was a rather disappointing one ultimately under pressure from McLaren. Anopko, Hidnitsky, Radchenko. McLaren in attendance again. It's a corner kick. Radchenko, who did play in the World Cup finals. Most of Russia's attacking talent was absent because of the rebellion against the then coach Pavel Savyanin. But Radchenko went to the States. He actually scored the other goal in that thrashing of Cameroon when Salenko got 5. Salenko's form is such that he can no longer get into the squad. Oh, and there was an opportunity there which Gorlukovic, the defender, didn't make the most of. It was poor marking, particularly as Gorlukovic had made the long trek from the back. You would think he would have been spotted. Away by Gorlukovic. Collins has got it back. Only had 3 men ahead of him. McAllister trying to win the ball. Once or twice the Russians have just been a little sloppy on the edge of their own penalty area. Certainly intend on playing their way out of trouble, and by and large they have the talent to do that. But Scotland haven't always allowed them the time. McAllister. Now Booth. Clear side of goal for Scott Booth. He's done it! Marvellous tonic for Scotland. A goal inside 20 minutes from Scott Booth from Aberdeen. Perfect pass from McAllister and a perfect finish from Booth. The manager's decision to prefer Booth to the informed John Spencer vindicated inside 20 minutes. Foul by McKinley. Certainly since their almost anonymous showing at the World Cup finals, there have been significant changes to Russian personnel and a change in mood. Shalimov has got in behind the Scots. A little long for Radchenko, headed away by Boyd. But the Russians were impressive in defeat against Germany recently. Bertie Vogts rated them back amongst the best 3 or 4 teams in Europe. Pitnitsky. Shalimov. Looking for Radchenko, and he's there ahead of Gorham, and Radchenko has equalised. 25 minutes gone, and the sucker punch delivered by Dmitry Radchenko. He's given a warning, a prior warning of his pace, and from Shalimov's ball, he managed to accelerate away from McLaren and beat Gorham to the ball, and all Tom Boyd's best efforts couldn't quite squeeze it off the line. Collins to McAllister. Oh, he did really well to squeeze that pass through to McGinley. Only Booth forward with him. Here's Booth. Oh, it's a good chance. It was a sharp opportunity, but no more so than the one he tucked away earlier in the game. McAllister combining with McGinley this time to set it up. McAllister. Here's Booth. McAllister again. He's been at the core of all of Scotland's best work. And again, they hunted the ball down very well there. And he's well capable of testing a goalkeeper from that range. Booth. And a play by Shalimov. McAllister. Collins jumping for the ball. It's come out as far as Scott Booth. It's a good effort from that range. Almost too cleanly struck right out the keeper. Wrapped his foot around it nicely, Booth. It's a comfortable take for Cherchesov. Strong play by Karpin. And suddenly there are supporting players popping up all over the place. This is Shalimov. Kanchelski's arriving late on the scene, and here's a chance for Radimov. And lucky for Scotland that McKinley was there. He's given it away to a Notco, and they rather got away with that. Maybe Craig Brown feels at the time is right just to pep up the Scottish effort, because with the Russians again enjoying a little period of dominance, Notco not making the most of that opportunity. John McGinley is to be withdrawn. And to a great roar from the home fans, John Spencer of Chelsea wins his first cap for Scotland. His international debut coming 2 years after he left Glasgow Rangers to seek fame and fortune south of the border, and it's come his way in the last year. Here's Spencer. Now Boyd. It's a good cross from Boyd. In goes Spencer! Well, he's had a spell out through injury recently and come back with goals in each of his last 3 Chelsea matches. He's a man in form, and it was such a good cross from Boyd. Spencer got on the end of it, but in front of the near post. It would have been very difficult for him to finish off the move that he started. But it's a good sign when you get there ahead of your marker, and Spencer certainly did that. One back by Nikiforov, who's been very impressive at the back for Russia. But the visitors haven't had a really good concerted spell in the second half. Karpin is onside though here. It's come for Radchenko, and now for Radimov. Oh, and I think it needed the touch from Gorham. His only previous appearance for Russia was as a substitute. Brought into the side at the very last moment. And after Karpin had survived the offside appeals, Radimov from Radchenko's setup brought a really good save out of Andy Gorham. Boyd's header clear. Nikiforov. Ambitious. Oh! Well, Nikiforov from half-bar. 35 plus, and Andy Gorham, no problem, had it under control. Didn't know what it was going to do. It was just an instinctive reach of the left hand. And Bob's your uncle. McKinney won the ball. Paid a painful price for it, but Scotland have a throw. Kimmy not too badly damaged. Takes the throw himself. McKinley, McAllister, space for Booth here. Oh, and almost squeezed it in at the near post. Smart save by Cherchesov. Had to be expecting Booth to pull it back. Another Scotland corner. Oh, all sorts of holding going on at the near post. And Nopko against Levine. Still an opportunity. Cherchesov flapping and has got a free kick. Loud boos and groans behind Stanislav Cherchesov's goal because they believe number 7 there in the foreground, and Nopko was holding Craig Levine. Now we can get a good view for ourselves. Well, there's absolutely no question about it. And he just went on and on. Fulkov. A little bit of space for Radimov. Almost invited to shoot, and ball could only fend it away. It's won back by Radchenko momentarily. Nevin rides the Scottish luck. Gorham did well to get down, but the ball really could have gone anywhere off him. Scotland have got to stay tight, got to keep concentrating in these closing minutes. McKimmie. Time running out. Maybe chance for one last attack to try and force a victory out of a really crucial night in Scotland's bid to qualify. McLaren has forced it into McAllister's path, and now a shot from Booth. They've continued to create openings throughout the evening, even during the spells, particularly in the first half when Russia appeared to take a grip on the game. Scotland have had sights of goal, and if only they could have hung on to the lead that Scott Booth gave them for more than the 6 minutes that it survived. If only they could have consolidated at that stage, then maybe they would have had more than this 1-1 draw to take out of the first real test of their European Championship pedigree. They hit the road now. Their next 4 qualifying games are away from home, crucially in Greece just before Christmas. They don't return here to Hampden Park until next August, and we will know a lot more about the qualifying chances of both Scotland and Russia by then. There was nothing to choose between them tonight. A night of a 1-1 draw at Hampden Park.
Earlier in the day, and the commentary from Gerald Sinstad.
Well, there's really nothing much between these two sides at the moment. Wales haven't shown a great deal, and they've lost possession again here. This is Nesatse, and Alvatse onto his left foot. Didn't look like his stronger foot by any means, but the fact that he was able to run at the heart of the Welsh defence, all pulled over one side. That's Alexander Chavatse on the bench there, the coach. You may recall him in the days when Georgia contributed the nucleus of the Soviet Union side. Sweeper, good player. Georgia come again. This is Kirklatse, good little player in midfield, nice left foot, and a nice little chip up too for Alvatse. Good save by Southall, just got his body down as Alvatse got the shot away, and Georgia are beginning to look menacing. Welsh bench just a little bit concerned. Now Wales. Giving Saunders a bit of room, put away here by Rush. Got Hughes inside him, pulling off towards the far post. Saunders going for the shot, maybe, no, it's a cross. Oh, that could so easily have been an own goal. I'm not sure that Ravishvili, the defender, knew a lot about it. He had Hughes behind him. Saunders does well, pulls the crossover, and it's just an instinctive leg stuck out with Hughes poaching. Coming up to the half hour here, and I have to say that Georgia have looked much the better passing side. This is Gogriciani, who's been very impressive at the number 8. Arveladze was calling for that over that side. Gogriciani has gone in for the return. It's come deep. Ketsbaia. Oh, it's gone in 1-0. Ketsbaia puts Georgia in front, and Wales have been rocked. Cross was deep. Comes to Ketsbaia, who seems to have an awful lot of time. Nielsen can't get to it. Southall looks perplexed, and Bowen couldn't cover behind. Ketsbaia puts Georgia 1-0 in front. Well won by Nesadze, and here's Kinkladze put through now. 2-0, and it really looked terribly easy. Welsh defence just melting away. Kinkladze put through, and no defender near him, and Southall beaten with a low shot. Mike Smith, grim-faced, and you can understand why. This is Gogicichvili. Field ball to Ketsbaia. Simons is beaten. Oh, so it's Southall! Ketsbaia has scored, starting the second half in much the vein that Georgia finished the first. It's now 3-0, and Wales are in terrible trouble. Beautiful shot from Ketsbaia. Can't blame Southall for that. Long ball finds Saunders. Return. Not being allowed to. This is Phillips. Horn supporting. Blocked. And Georgia come again. Chachvili. And this is Revichvili, the right back, come right forward into the attack, looking for a shot, or maybe a 1-2. Gogriciani hits the post. Another let-off for Wales. Could so easily have been 4. And maybe the danger isn't over yet. This is Arveladze. Kept it in. Gogriciani. Oh, what is it? That's almost taking the mickey. It was brilliantly done, but surely somebody should have closed him down. Gogriciani has made it 4-0. Lovely work by Arveladze. 2 defenders standing off while he flicks it up and over the flailing Southall. Not a happy sight. Corner comes, and Melville meets it. Unlucky. Off the bar from Andy Melville. Well, that's as close as Mike Smith has seen his team come to scoring. Good header by Andy Melville. Well away from the goalkeeper. Just unlucky. Well, the Georgians have certainly been the better passing side. You think back to the 80s when a lot of the Soviet team came from this part of the world. They were good passers of the ball then. A bit lucky with that deflection. Tackle didn't take. And there's the 5th goal. Arveladze has scored it. This is turning into humiliation for Wales. Georgia scoring almost at will. A little bit lucky there with the pass deflected, and it comes to Arveladze. It's almost as though he's gone too far. Left foot shot into the far side. 5-0. Georgia lost to Moldova here and away to Bulgaria. Bottom of the group. Not happy reading for Wales at all. Now, away they come again. Kavashvili, only just come on. And maybe if he'd been warmed up, he might have done better there. Fitzsimons it was who got back and nicked it away from him. Instructions going out to the Georgians, I suspect, just to hold what they have. Difficult to know really what Wales can do here. Just really looking for a bit of respectability, but at least they're beginning to apply some pressure. They've got men forward. It's Rush, setting it up for Hughes, deflected and away. Well, Wales have been outplayed, but you have to say that what luck has been, they haven't really had. Mark Hughes set up there, just couldn't quite make it. Now from the corner. It's a header on, and Simon's header tipped over the bar by the goalkeeper. And I rather fancy that's the first serious save he's made, and we're, what, about 10 minutes from the end of the game. Good header by Simons, but comfortably turned over by the keeper. Saunders. Rush, the knockback. Cleared to Saunders again, good save, good shot. Saunders really hit that. And again, maybe. Out of play. Well, they're happy enough, but what can you say for poor Wales? Journey of nearly 3,000 miles to suffer a humiliating 5-0 defeat.
It was a silly game from our point of view because too many mistakes were made. And when it happens and at the end, you've nothing to say, absolutely shattered and ashamed, because the mistakes should never have been made in the way in which they were. And to all the people watching, you know, we're very sorry, because that's... in the last game with Moldova, I thought that we were unlucky. We weren't unlucky, we were well beaten.
Other results in that group: Albania 1, Germany 2, and Bulgaria 4, Moldova 1. Klinsmann scored for Germany, incidentally, and Stoichkov got 2 for Bulgaria. Wales' next match is against the Bulgarians in Cardiff next month. Well, what do we say?
Let's start with football, though, a roundup of all the latest Euro 96 matches, and starting in Group 1. The game played earlier this evening between Poland and France. Poland in the red shorts and white shirts, going close here to opening the scoring against the French from Roman Kozetsky after 17 minutes. Kozetsky's reaction told the full story. Well, France have drawn their previous 2 games in this group, away to Slovakia and at home to Romania, both scoreless draws. And it looked like we were going to have a similar feat in the second half. The closest they came was Eric Cantona here, forcing the best out of Vancek in the Polish goal. So at half-time, it was scoreless, but then came a moment of madness in the second half. It simply had to be red for Karambo, his second bookable offence, and Christian Karambo sent off, and France reduced to 10 men. Now it was backs against the wall as Poland began to take the initiative, and there was real drama in the closing stages, as not just one, but 2 opportunities went a-begging. Juskowiak having the best of them. Poland 0, France 0, the result from Zagreb. Rounding up for you the other results in Group 1, Azerbaijan 0, Israel 2. Harazi and Rosenthal, the scorers there, as Israel join Romania at the top of Group 1. The other big result in the second phase there, Romania beating Slovakia 3-2 over the weekend. And so to one of the stories of the night, Belgium against Macedonia. Belgium here in the red. Strong favourites here to comfortably beat a Macedonian side who impressed me in their recent game against Spain when they were beaten, but far from disgraced. Well, Belgium had the very best of the early opportunities, and it was really a question of backs against the wall for Danko Soleski and the rest of the Macedonian defence. And there wasn't that much surprise when the deadlock eventually was broken. Here a good opportunity for Luc Nilis, who's having a fine season with his new club PSV in Holland. Well, half an hour gone and it still remained 0-0, but one always felt that Belgium would have the initiative and Macedonia would only be able to last so long. And the crossbar here denied the home side, and when the second opportunity from Nilis was driven across, it was Verheyen who couldn't miss. So Belgium at last in front, and one felt then that the floodgates would open and Macedonia would crumble. Well, the crossbar saving them on that occasion, but Nilis here drilled in the cross, and Verheyen made no mistake with the finish. On the half hour, an ideal tonic for Belgium. Well, from then on, it was all Belgium towards half-time, and really they could and should have had more goals But certainly there were some nervous moments as we went into the second half, as Macedonia began to come into the game. Then a moment of madness from Benfica keeper Prudhomme. Schmitz couldn't keep it out, and Macedonia had equalised. A sensational moment. Boskovski getting the goal. And one really has to look at the defensive error from Prudhomme, the Benfica keeper, and Rudi Schmitz, who just couldn't keep it in play. 1-1, and Macedonia now under constant pressure. But could they get this historic first point? Belgium brought on substitute Gilles de Bielde, but even his contribution wasn't enough, and it finished an amazing scoreline. 1-1, Belgium and Macedonia. Spain 3, Denmark 0 in the other big game of the night. That was an important win. Luis Enrique, Donato amongst the scorers, and Cyprus 2, Armenia 0. So Spain maximum points and looking good even at this early stage for a place in England. Sweden 2, Hungary 0. Goals from Brolin and Dahlin. The big story there is that Brolin has a broken ankle and is out of the game for 2 months. A real blow for the Swedes despite their win. Bikal's goal just on half-time gives Switzerland a victory against Iceland. They're looking good for the 2 places from Group 3. Into Group 4, and one of the shocks of this or any other football season. A first defeat in the Euro Champs at home since 1983 for Italy. 2 goals from Davor Suker despite an injury time consolation for Italy through Dino Baggio. Croatia have maximum points. Italy in trouble in the group in 3rd place. And so to Holland against the Czech Republic. One always felt this would be a very important game for the Dutch, and certainly they went closest to scoring early on. Header coming in from De Boer as Yuri Mulder had an opportunity. He making his international debut, plays for the German club Schalke. Well, De Gavetat, the Dutch coach, who's being linked with PSV incidentally, it's more than just a rumour, must have been anxious, and he brought on Patrick Kluivert, the leading scorer in the Dutch league with 10 goals for Ajax, to replace Mulder in the second half. He had one good chance, he just couldn't score. Then in injury time, Ed de Goey had to make a fine save to keep the Dutch record intact. It finished 0-0, the substitute so close to scoring there. Holland 0, the Czech Republic 0, and the Czechs' excellent record against Holland continues. And so the other result in this group, a fine win for Norway, 4-0 away to Belarus. Henningberg, Leonardsen, Bohinen and Rekdal getting the goals there, as Norway, who only beat Belarus 1-0 at home, got amongst the goals to give them a clear advantage in Group 5. John Aldridge. Big match of the week, though, took place between Spain and Denmark. And what a game this turned out to be, and a very important one, which leaves the European champions of 4 years ago in big trouble. Peter Schmeichel had to be at his best. From Donato's shot here, he was caught clean in the face. But the deadlock broken 4 minutes before half-time. It was Nadal at the second attempt, scoring his first goal for his country, heading it past Schmeichel and giving Spain the lead. Into the second half now, and 12 minutes gone. Schmeichel beaten for a second time on the night, as this time Donato makes no mistake. And then 3 minutes from the end, the scoring completed, and Spain made it 3-0 when Luis Enrique took full advantage of the pass from Donato. Spain thought they had a fourth in stoppage time, but the flag went up for offside. But even so, it was a great result for the Spanish, winning 3-0. Belgium against Macedonia next, and this was expected to be a comfortable win for Belgium, but it turned out to be anything but, as Macedonia put up a very good rearguard action. But even so, it was to be a night when Belgium were to score first. No surprise here after 37 minutes. What's the contribution here made by Luc Nilis, the player who has now joined PSV and has made such a big impact this season with his new club. Nilis went closest to scoring on a number of occasions, here heading just over, and it was inevitable that he was to be involved in the opening goal when it came after half an hour. Macedonia had held out well, but they were overrun here by Belgium, and when the ball came back off the crossbar, Nilis provided the cross for Bohinen to come in and score decisively. 31 gone, and Gert Verheyen breaking the deadlock. What should then have been the floodgates opened for Belgium. Nilis here with great control and a precise cross, and Verheyen making no mistake. Belgium then pressurised furthermore and had several good chances to increase their lead before half-time. And really, there seemed little to worry about until the start of the second half. Then Macedonia came forward. Prudhomme, the Benfica keeper, made a dreadful error. Schmitz couldn't keep it out either. And Zoran Boskovski made it 1-1. A real surprise on the cards here. The cross came in from Stasjonovic. Schmitz just couldn't keep it in. And Boskovski, the hero, as Macedonia grabbed an equaliser. Hard though Belgium fought, and they did try hard in the closing stages. They had many opportunities. Here, Gilles de Biele racing inside and arcing his shot just wide. It finished Belgium 1, Macedonia 1. Other result in the group, Cyprus 2, Armenia 0. There you can see the significance of that Macedonia result. It means that Spain already have a 5-point advantage and looking good to claim one of the 2 places on offer for qualification for England. Who will join them? Well, it's going to be a tremendous battle, right down to the wire, I feel. And so to the game between Switzerland and Iceland, and just 1 goal separates the 2 sides here in another very big clash, this time in Group 3. And what a strike it was from Thomas Bickel right on half-time. A deserved win for Switzerland, 3 very important points. The team who rather disappointed in the USA. Switzerland 1, Iceland 0. Sweden 2, Hungary 0, the other result, but definitely a tarnished night for the Swedes, with the news today that Thomas Brolin is out for the rest of the season with a broken ankle. He, along with Martin Dahlin, were the scorers of the 2 Swedish goals, a victory that gives them 6 points, but Brolin's injury overshadows the result. The shock of the European Championship qualifying so far came in the game between Italy in the blue and Croatia. Davor Sukor's having a great time of it in international football. He managed here his 7th goal in 7 internationals to give Croatia a surprise lead after 42 minutes. And then, amazingly, on the hour, he got a 2nd. The shot coming in from Igor Stimac, and Sukor made it 8 in 7 and giving Italy real problems. Having lost only 5 times in 33 previous matches under Arrigo Sacchi, this was to be another very disappointing result for Italy. Their first defeat since the '83 Euro Championships, when they lost to Sweden at home. And despite Dino Baggio's injury time strike, it was to be a disastrous result for the Italians, who failed to qualify for the Euro Champs in Sweden 2 years ago. Final score, Italy 1, Croatia 2. Other results, Slovenia 1, Lithuania 2, and that was as much of a surprise, which puts Lithuania in 2nd place in the group. You can see Italy and Ukraine, who many thought would be the 2 that would qualify, now both have 4 points in 3rd and 4th in the group, and Croatia already looking very good to sustain 1 place from this amazing Group 4. And so to Holland and Czechoslovakia, and Dick Advocaat, the Dutch man. Norway win in Belarus by 4 goals to 0. They'd struggled to win the home match. Lars Bohinen amongst their scorers, and Norway have 7 points now for the Czech Republic and Holland. Belarus are dangerous floaters here, with Malta and Luxembourg looking to have a stiff task, but Norway have the upper hand so far. Group 6, and Jack Charlton said it was one of the finest attacking displays by his side since he's become manager, as Ireland won 4-0 in Belfast. Roy Keane, John Sheridan amongst the scorers, and also Andy Townsend. Portugal had won 1-0 at the weekend against Austria.
Beardsley, Wise again. Rousseau. Free kick. Again, England send the
heavy artillery forward from defence. Platt! The captain scores, and Nigeria lose the place at a free kick. David Platt making his run behind Alan Shearer. As the ball came in, he got the touch that mattered.
Dennis Irwin to whip it in. Aldridge's header, and the keeper was caught. It's an early strike for the Republic. Northern Ireland were beaten in their last home qualifying game, and they may be in for a second one here. The Republic, Roy Keane has given the Republic their second goal. But it's going to be a long, cold night here at Windsor Park for Northern Ireland. Aldridge just got half a yard on Taggart. Sheridan, it's 3, and it's threatening to be a rout. Oh, Patterson looked as though he was all over the back of Quinn, but the referee allowing play to go on. Here's Andy Townsend. It's 4, and it's an increasingly unhappy night for Northern Ireland.
So in Group 6, the Republic's record of 11 goals for, none against, keeps them above Portugal, who've also won all their 3 matches. Northern Ireland are third, but they've played an extra game.
McAllister. Now Booth. Clear side of goal for Scott Booth. He's done it! Marvellous tonic for Scotland. A goal inside 20 minutes from Scott Booth of Aberdeen. Hitnitsky. Shalimov. Looking for Radchenko, and he's there ahead of Coram, and Radchenko has equalised.
In this group, Greece have a 100% record after their 3 games. Scotland stay in touch, 2 points behind. Russia are third, and they have a game in hand.
Georgia have looked much the better passing side. This is Gogriciani, who's been very impressive at number 8. Alvalazzi was calling for that over that side. Gogriciani has gone in for the return. It's come deep. Ketspire. Oh, it's gone in 1-0. Ketspire puts Georgia in front, and Wales have been rocked. Well won by Nizatse, and here's Kinkladze put through now. 2-0, and it really looked terribly easy. Welsh defence just melting away. Field ball to Ketspire. Simons is beaten. Oh, Suisaldo! Ketspire has scored, starting the second half in much the vein that Georgia finished the first. And Wales are in terrible trouble. This is Revichvili, the right back, come right forward into the attack, looking for a shot, or maybe a 1-2. Gogriciani hits the post. Another let-off for Wales. Could so easily have been 4. And maybe the danger isn't over yet. This is Alvalazzi. Kept it in. Gogriciani. Oh, what impudence! A bit lucky with that deflection. Tackle didn't take. And there's the 5th goal. Alvalazzi has scored it.
And the Group 7 table makes as melancholy a picture as the events in Tbilisi. The Welsh have 3 points from 3 games, and they haven't yet played Bulgaria, the leaders, or Germany.
It's a big week of European Championship football, and in Group 3 this evening, the leaders Switzerland travelled to Turkey, the Swiss having won their first 2 matches at home. And Switzerland off to a dream start in Istanbul this evening. They took the lead on 7 minutes. A free kick for the right after the foul on Subia by Bülent, and finding the head of Kola, who was brought into the side to replace the injured Stefan Chapuisa, and doing very well indeed. Switzerland off to a 1-0 lead after just 7 minutes, and it became 2-0 on 16 minutes. Bikel this time running onto the long pass forward, and 2-0 for Switzerland at that point. The Swiss looking very much in the driving seat. But Turkey kept coming forward, and they were to pull one back before the break. It came on 40 minutes as Switzerland failed to clear the ball. The ball eventually came over for Recep, and he beat the goalkeeper with a lovely shot from the edge of the area. 2-1 the score. That was the score at half-time, but that was the way it ended. Switzerland holding on to win by 2-1 against Turkey this evening. So it's played 3 and won 3 for Switzerland. In Group 1 last night, France travelled to Trabzon in Turkey to take on Azerbaijan. The match was held outside of Azerbaijan because of the state of emergency in the country. France desperately needed to win after 3 lacklustre goalless draws in their opening matches against Slovakia, Romania and Poland. And France took the lead on 24 minutes. Desailly finding Loco, and his cross finding Jean-Pierre Papin, making his return to the French side. A first-time shot from Papin, a mistake from Ichkov in the Azeri goal, and France were into the lead. That's Papin's 30th goal in a French shirt. And the Bayern Munich striker had a chance to make it 2 just a few minutes later, but this time, after Papin had tried out his famous right foot, Ichkov was up to the task. The Azeris probably wished he'd have been that good a few minutes earlier. 1-0 then for France at half-time, and they were to make it 2-0 on 55 minutes. The free kick from Le Guen finding Eric Cantona, and his header eventually running free for Patrice Loco, the man who'd provided the first goal, and the man from Nantes celebrating his first ever goal for his country. 2-0 the score then, and that was the way it ended in Trabzon last night. Jean-Pierre Papin happy with the score, and so were France. It was far from impressive in the mud in Trabzon, but France get their first win in Group 1. So that's what it all means in Group 1 now. France then beating Azerbaijan, and Israel continue to surprise people in the group. They drew at home this evening with Romania. That means those two sides are now level on points. France are third, so the French know it won't be easy. And now a look at the results this evening in Group 3, as we've seen Switzerland beating Turkey by 2 goals.
The chance of Wales qualifying now are pretty remote. Vinnie Jones was called up for his first cap. He was in good voice, but the team were way off song.
The corner taken short. This is Balakov. Hit long to Ivanov. Oh, what a super strike! Bulgaria ahead. 5 minutes on the clock. Stoichkov just stepped away from David Phillips. This is back to Mark Hazelwood. Stoichkov's running him down, and it's forced an error. Kostadinov. There were 2 ahead of him. Oh, he didn't need them. In off the foot of the post with Southall beaten, and already Bulgaria ahead by 2-0. Rush into Saunders, who spots David Phillips in space. First time to try and find Rush. Saunders, Phillips can knock it back in. Vinnie Jones, oh, off the line. It would have gone in. So close to a debut goal. Southall's kick comes straight back. This is Penev. There's a player coming back from an offside position, but the flag stays down. Stoichkov goes around Southall. It's 3. It's embarrassingly emphatic for Bulgaria.
A highly disappointing night for Wales and Vinnie Jones in Cardiff, their 3rd consecutive defeat in the European Championship.
We give it all we got. I think what we needed was a goal, and we didn't get it. The 3rd goal was a killer goal, but I said at the end of the day, you know, we played a world-class team there, and individually they're much better than us.
Who play in the same group as Scotland met in Helsinki. San Marino packed their defence, but Finland still found their way through 4 times. What a great night for Bolton's Miksu Patalainen, who scored all 4. Finland had to win to stand any chance of progressing to the 1996 finals, got 2 in each half through Patalainen. The only consolation for San Marino was that they scored their first goal of the competition. Finland are now third. Greece and Scotland meet tomorrow. Scotland in confident mood after their draw with Russia, but knowing they need to take at least a point in Athens.
Hacia Salinas. Luis Enrique, Hierro. Hierro, muy bien para Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique. Oh, qué oportunidad acaba de perder Luis Enrique ante Prudhomme. Ahora Hierro, de nuevo Hierro y gol. Ahora sí, Fernando Hierro acaba de empatar el partido. Muy buena la jugada individual de Hierro, la acción individual, tanto en el regate como en el remate. No pudo Luis Enrique primero. Y sí, a los 28 minutos acaba de empatar. Observen ahí cómo saca Prudhomme el disparo de Luis Enrique. Y observen qué bien ahí Hierro. Control, segundo. Se va entre 4 hombres. Y ahí bate a Prudhomme. Empate a 1 en el marcador. Gol de Fernando Hierro. Ahí lo vemos de nuevo. Es el octavo gol de Fernando Hierro en sus 32 partidos como internacional. Prudhomme bajo los palos. Donato preparado para el lanzamiento. El penalti a los 11 minutos del segundo tiempo. Ahí va Donato. Ha engañado perfectamente a Prudhomme. El segundo gol para España. A los 11 minutos se adelanta en el marcador el equipo español. Nadal para Belzue. El autopase de Belzue. Belzue, Salinas ahora en posición correcta. Salinas y el tercero. El tercero para España. Acaba de marcar Julio Salinas. Eso era lo que necesitaba España. Hacer un par de contraataques rápidos, buenos y sobre todo conseguir un tercer gol ante la presión que les estaba sometiendo Bélgica. Muy bien Belzue en la jugada. Fenomenal Julio. Como controla y ahí bate a Prudhomme. Ha marcado Salinas su gol número 22 como internacional. Belzue, Nadal, que bien echó el balón al suelo Nadal. Goicoechea hacia Luis Enrique de nuevo. Muy bonito Luis Enrique, ahora sí, que bien se la picó a Prudhomme. Qué bien ahora Luis Enrique se la picó a Prudhomme. Consiguió el cuarto, lo merecía Luis Enrique, minuto 44. Lo merecía Luis Enrique, había tenido varias oportunidades. Cerrar un partido tan extraordinario para él. Con este cuarto gol, ahí lo vemos de nuevo. Lo merecía Luis Enrique porque había hecho un partido sensacional, un esfuerzo inmenso. Había tenido sus oportunidades. Es el tercer gol de Luis Enrique como internacional.
En Frankie van der Elster dus aan de buitenkant. Maar we gaan diep naar Gilles de Bilde. De Bilde is snel, is wendbaar, kan voorzetten. De Grijze! Ja, 1-0! Mark de Grijze, schitterende actie van Gilles de Bilde. En het hele stadion, het constant van het Stadstadion staat op stelte. Iedereen op de banken. Wat een formidabele start. Daar, Luis Enrique, Hierro. Schitterend naar Luis Enrique, dat moet een goal worden. Nee, schitterende redding van Michel Prudhomme. Hierro, nog niet gedaan hoor. Hierro erdoor! En de goal. Ja, je voelde het aankomen. Guerrero. Voorspelen, balvoordeel. Hierro met een goede bal voor Luis Enrique. Goed aangepakt. Salinas is mee. Kap nog Luis Enrique. Gelukkig had hij onmiddellijk voorgezet. Nog altijd Luis Enrique. Ja, maakt zich daar ongrijpbaar. Guerrero gaat er neer. En Prudhomme. En een penalty. Oog in oog met elkaar. En ja, proper gedaan. Nadal. Belsoe. Salinas, alsjeblieft. Eerst gedaan en afgelopen, de kous is af. Nadal. Nu is Enrique. Ja. Wordt dus pijnlijk nog. En 4.
Today. Niall Quinn was past fit to partner David Kelly up front for the Republic, while Northern Ireland welcomed back skipper Alan MacDonald after suspension. This match watched by Clive Tilsley.
Here's Quinn. Now Sheridan. Quinn on to Staunton. Nicely done. Only Keane waiting in the middle. Tagged away from Kelly. Smooth Republic build-up. Staunton. Here's Keane. Oh, and Kelly was there at the far post. Now they're appealing for handball, and I think David Kelly is going to be shown a yellow card. And it was number 6, Roy Keane, who forced it back. But watch David Kelly at the far post, because in his attempt to turn it in, he got a hand to the ball and onto the post and in. Townsend. Sheridan. Irwin. Staunton. You'll have felt that. Patterson has been penalised. Little over 10 minutes of the first half remaining. The Republic of Ireland being held at bay for the moment. Quinn with a header down. Virtually a free header too. Didn't even have to get off the ground then, Quinn. Now McGrath. Now David Kelly. Scuffed it completely. Precious few clear sights of goal for the Republic of Ireland in this first half. But they had a sniff of a chance on a couple of occasions there. Firstly when Quinn headed down straight to Patterson, but when it came back in, David Kelly was allowed a shot at goal. His first touch just maybe took it a little bit away from him. Taggart's lost out. This is Townsend, away by MacDonald. There were 3 waiting for the cross. McGrath was probably best placed of them. Staunton. Hedges couldn't claim it. This is McGrath, but play's already been stopped. The goalkeeper's got his free kick. Well, if anybody caught Pettis, it was probably his own defender, Taggart. Hughes. Challenged by Gary Kelly. This is Roy Keane. That's a nice ball too for David Kelly. And a nice turn. And a nice header from Quinn, who was under pressure from the right back Patterson. There was a half-hearted appeal by Niall Quinn. David Kelly spinning nicely. And Quinn didn't quite make contact. It's a good chance, actually. It's nearly 4 years since the Republic failed to score in a competitive international here at Lansdowne Road, their Dublin stronghold. They haven't often looked like scoring thus far. Their attacks have carried more threat than Northern Ireland's, but their attack has not really been the Northern Ireland priority in the first half of this game. Steve Staunton. A bit too strong for Andy Townsend. Here's Gillespie. Tripped by Irwin. Headed from Gary Kelly and then from Babb, and the Republic just caught unawares briefly. Taggart had made his way forward very quickly. He's now having to make his way back. This is Staunton. Away from Patterson, he was impeded by Magilton coming back, and the Republic of Ireland have a free kick. McGrath adding his weight to a very crowded penalty area. It's Dennis Irwin's free kick, and there's Quinn! And there's the goal that the Republic of Ireland have huffed and puffed for, and finally they have blown the Northern Ireland defence down. It's come within 2 minutes of the restart from Niall Quinn. It's been hard work, but the Republic's expertise at the set piece and the Northern Ireland careless marking. How on earth could they lose Niall Quinn like that? Look at the size of him. Gave Alan Fettis no chance. Paul McGrath wounded but happy. And it was a simple task for Quinn. Look at him between defenders. Now Sheridan. 4 in support. Trying to tee up Staunton. Majilt was there. This is Irwin. Staunton. Townsend. Quinn is calling for it. Irwin looking for him. Quinn! He had to wait patiently for that opportunity to come. When it did, he fired in a header. Power and pace which tested Alan Fettis in the Northern Ireland goal. Lifted into Dowie. Hughes with a shot. Might still come from Magilton, maybe for Morrow. Magilton again. Away by McGrath. Although the actual balance of play is very much in the Republic of Ireland's favour, the balance of the scoreline is only just in their favour. Clearance by Nigel Worthington. Only Ian Dowie forward for the North. But here's Keith Gillespie arriving speedily on the scene. Gillespie's got his cross in. Dowie's there, and Dowie has equalised. The first goal conceded by the Republic in the qualifying campaign, the first goal conceded by Alan Kelly in his international career, and the first goal scored by a Northern Ireland player here in Dublin. And Keith Gillespie provided the perfect ammunition for Dowie. Beating Babb on the outside and delivering an inch-perfect cross for the Crystal Palace centre-forward. Good job by Patterson. One back by Townsend. Staunton. Got away from Patterson. It's towards Quinn again! And he will feel as though he probably should have done better. It was a raking cross from Steve Staunton. It was right on the button. And although Niall Quinn got up and directed it downwards, he couldn't direct it past Alan Fettis. Brian Hamilton actually played in the first two North v Republic internationals in the late 70s, and Jerry Armstrong, sitting on his right there, is the only man to have scored a winning goal for the North against the Republic back in '79 in Belfast. On by Staunton. Taggart wanted to let it run, he didn't see McAteer coming in, and he just managed to atone for his error by poking it away from Cascarino. Jason McAteer arrived on the blind side of Jerry Taggart. Ticking towards stoppage time. Irwin with the corner. Flicked on by Townsend, and Cascarino just within a whisker of applying the finishing touches. Townsend with the flick which unhinged the Northern Ireland defence. And it's on as even in Ireland. Come from behind point for the North, from which they'll take the greatest satisfaction. Ian Dowie profiting from a searing piece of wing play by Keith Gillespie to equalise Niall Quinn's earlier goal. It's a stumble, no more for the Republic of Ireland. It could be a real lifeline for Northern Ireland. Dowie, the first man to score an international goal for the North in Belfast, tying it up at 1-1.
Austria 5, Latvia 0. No change in the table, with the Republic now only 2 points behind the leaders Portugal, who they play in Dublin next month. Wales without the injured Ian Rush and the suspended Mark Hughes, Dean Saunders and Arsenal's John Hartson up front, supported by Ryan Giggs, and Vinnie Jones was in midfield. Let's see how they got on with their former international Brian Flynn and Ian Gwyn Hughes.
It's difficult really to believe that this pitch yesterday this time last night was under 3 or 4 inches of snow. Many felt that the game would be in doubt, but the Bulgarians experienced with these sort of conditions. An early touch for Mikhailov, yeah, and the shot comes in and it's just away. An unexpected opportunity for Dean Saunders, but well, there was a foul. It didn't seem to be too much of a touch on Mikhailov, but I can't really understand that decision by the referee. Where the free kick is taken from now, there was no challenge at all. The player slipped, the goalkeeper's actually dropped the ball, and Dean's really a sharp onto it, and luckily for the defender, he's got a deflection on it. I can't see where the free kick has come from. Sukanov. And towards Penev. Seemed to jump at Kit Simons, given away. Stoichkov. Kostadinov in the middle. Lechkov calling for the ball, went for the shot himself. Lechkov screaming for the ball, but Stoichkov ignored him. Never really going to trouble Neville Southall, always going over the bar. Yes, as soon as he's cut in on his right-hand side, I looked at Neville's position. His positioning was absolutely superb, and for him to beat him on the right-hand side there would have taken something exceptional. And as soon as Neville seen the flight of it, he knew it was over. Southall's kick. Pressure back on Wales. Simons thought about heading the ball. Eventually conceded the throw. Stoichkov to take it. Balakov to Stoichkov. Balakov trying to create space for the shot. And that's the goal! An excellent strike. It would have to be to beat Neville Southall from there, but completely unexpected. The first time, really, in the first half that they've gone for an effort like that from distance. It was a difficult angle, but he created the space for himself, and Neville Southall had no chance. And with 8 minutes to go until the interval, that's a blow for Wales. It's Bulgaria 1, Wales 0. A misunderstanding. Suddenly, Bulgaria have a bit more confidence, and it drops this time to Penev. Tries to play the ball back, and it very nearly came into the goal of Vinnie Jones, and Neville Southall had to be alert. The whole complex of this game suddenly has changed. One mistake, and Wales very nearly punished. Yes, and that was the way our luck is at the moment. It was a deflection into the path of the Bulgarian player. We're under pressure at the moment. We've got to withstand this sort of pressure. We've got to stay in the game. Wales have a number of players forward as the free kick comes in from chance. This chance here. Mikhailov saves from Saunders, and it's a corner, but that was an opportunity, and it came really from nothing. Well, it was a free kick, a great free kick in, and Bulgaria were all at sea regarding their offside tactic. Some people stayed. There was a good header back, I think, for John Hartson, and Dean Saunders was one for the rebound. The keeper's made an excellent save from Dean Saunders. It's hooked away again. At this level, maybe, Brian, you have to take advantage. Yes, that was the best chance of the game, and the keeper's made an exceptional save. If we could have scored one then it was a whole new ball game. It would have given the lads a little bit more impetus, given them fresh legs, would have kept us going a little bit longer. Bulgaria comes searching for a second. Balakov has scored the first. The fine lay back for Kostadinov. Wales are appealing for offside, but the linesman didn't lift his flag, and Wales find themselves 2-0 down. Well, he looks offside. If you look at the run of Mark Bowen now on the left-hand side, he's followed the ball in, and he's on the 6-yard line. It's level. It's very tight. It's difficult to see. Very difficult. John Hansen has battled away gamely throughout the game, quite often by himself. Yes, I think John will be pleased with the way that he's played today. In terms of chances, we haven't been able to create any for him. But I think he'll be quite pleased with the way that he's played today. Being at his first cap, I think he will have many, many more. certainly been an exciting few months for him. Moved from Luton to Arsenal, European football, as the Bulgarians have flipped. And Penev was unmarked really, and Southall had no chance, and I suppose you have to say that was poor defending. But Penev rose really unchallenged, did well though just to lift the ball over Southall. The Welsh defence, they'll be looking at each other there and asking, well, where were we?
I think what you've got to put that one down to is lack of concentration. I think that possibly will come through tiredness. It's late on in the game, we're 2-0 down, they are controlling the game, and basically lack of concentration inside the penalty box. I don't like to say it, but it does happen. That's not an excuse. I'm not defending anyone. It does happen. When you put so much in the game, you just do switch off.
Giggs. Final ball. Shot is in and it's there. Dean Saunders has pulled one back. And what a pity that didn't happen 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, very much so. I'm pleased for the lads they've gone on the score sheet, because I think a 3-0 defeat would have been unkind to us. It would have been unfair, it would have been cruel. I'm glad we've got something out of it now. I'm glad we've got a goal, just to give the lads that little bit of a boost.
And Dean Saunders just took a swing at it with his left foot, and Mikhailov had no chance. That's his 15th goal for Wales. And it was created. Ryan Giggs, fine dribble across the field. 2 players missed the ball, and he just dropped to Dean Saunders, and well, first time.
Excellent finish, excellent finish. He's hit the target, and that's the most important thing.
And that's the final whistle. Bulgaria have won here in Sofia by 3 goals to 1. A far better Welsh performance, we have to emphasise that. But they were beaten by a fine goal in the first half by Balakov. Further goals were added in the second half by Penev, with both really, although I'm sure Kostadov will claim the second. Dean Saunders restored a bit of Welsh pride, as did the performance in general.
Welcome to Eurosport News. My name's Carlton Kirby. Plenty of European Championship qualifiers tonight. An awful lot indeed. Cyprus up against the Danes. Denmark in the red and white. Schoenberg opening up for Denmark with a header after just 2 minutes. We then had to wait just before the break. Agathliouis levelling the scores for the Cypriots. Cyprus not doing too bad, and it's a very tight group, this group 2. I can tell you that 4 teams with 5 points, trailing Spain, who virtually qualified with 13 points. And we can take a look at group 2 for you. Well, after tonight's results, that's how it looks. 13 points means that Spain are top of the pile, but look at that. Macedonia, Denmark, Cyprus and Belgium all level on 5 points apiece. It's wide open, a path that is for the poor old Armenians. Well, in Group 3, Turkey in the white up against Sweden. Well, plenty of teams have found the atmosphere on Turkish grounds intimidating, not least Manchester United. Well, the referee unintimidated by the crowd, giving the penalty. Darlin brought down. Anderson slotting it away after just 23 minutes. Well, Turkey always powerful at home, and they started to get back into this one. Emre it was in the second half who leveled the scores, a little bit scrappy. And Sweden desperately trying to close them all down. Have a look at that again. There he was, poor clearing, and indeed possibility of a deliberate handball had he been just a foot further forward. Anyway, Sweden paid the price of pushing forward. Sergen with the winner. Turkey coming from behind in fine style, and indeed it puts Turkey up into second place in Group 3, relegating the Swiss down into third. And despite all the other action, a the way it stayed. Turkey 2, Sweden 1. Well, the Group 3 action, Hungary up against Switzerland. Hungarians in their familiar reds. Super crowd for this one, and they got a super game as well. Fabulous header from Kiprich as the goalkeeper was advancing, sent him the wrong way. Had to wait till the 50th minute for the opener. Really was beautifully taken. Well, Illis, around 20 minutes later, made it 2-0 to Hungary. Now, if only they consolidated at this point, but ever trying to please the home crowds, they just kept pushing forward, and they was to start to pay the price of it. Nestor Subiac pulling one back. Sustained pressure from the Swiss, who aren't a bad outfit at all. Topping Group 3, I can tell you. And if you've done your homework, you'll realise that to do that, they've been playing rather well of late. Well, slightly scrappy for Subiac second to level the scores at 2 apiece. I think I could have popped that one in. 2-2 then, and it leaves the Swiss on top ahead of the Turks. And we'll take a look at Group 3 for you right now. And there it is, Switzerland with 10 points topping this group ahead of Turkey on 7. Sweden languishing in the middle, but it's early days. They've only played 4 games apiece, the top 3. And it's Hungary and Iceland propping them up for now. In Group 4, the Ukraine in the blue, up against the Italians playing here in the unfamiliar white strip. Weren't to be overawed though. Lombardo opening the scores after 11 minutes. An awful lot expected of Italy back home, and they delivered it in excellent form. Well, 6 minutes before the turnaround, Casiraghi made it 2-0. Italy then consolidating at the back, holding the scoreline at exactly that. Ukraine 0, Italy 2. Italy looking reasonably comfortable in Group 4, and we can take a look at how they're settling down. Croatia top of the pile with 13 points. Other results for you: Slovenia beating Estonia 3-0. Lithuania, Croatia finished goalless. Leaves Croatia on top with 13 points. Italy second place on 10, and it's Lithuania with 7, but with a game in hand over the other 2. Welcome back. The day's battle at Lansdowne Road thankfully took place on the pitch this very day. Niall Quinn with the opening goal just after the break. Jack Charlton's men in the green up against Northern Ireland. Well, the Ulstermen weren't going to lie down, and indeed Gordon Dowie it was. After defensive errors left him all on his own. Level the scores with 17 minutes remaining. Where were Paul McGrath and Phil Babb? So that one finished 1-1. Other matches in Group 6 this evening. Austria up against Latvia. Austria expected to score a hatful. They went on to do just that. Herzog, after 18, started the ball rolling. And Herzog was to feature widely in this game, as was Polster. Pfeifenberger made it 2-0 off the free kick. Lovely header, goalkeeper all over the place, wrong-footed. don't know, he missed that. Anyway, third goal. Game of the second half. We were 15 minutes in when Herzog buried it for his second. And a foul on Dieter Ramos. Gave Polster a chance to open his account for the evening. Well, he did certainly look to make a meal of it. May have nicked him, but the referee had no doubt whatsoever. Ramos clutching his ankle. Polster sending it home. Indeed, Polster was to make it 2 on his account. Just before the final whistle, the snow coming down. Very cold evening. Lovely strike though. Austria 5, Latvia 0. And Austria doing themselves no harm whatsoever with that. Although they're still in 4th place, however, they've got games in hand, or a game in hand over the Northern Irish, who are up into 3rd after that draw with the Republic. Jack's men, slight hiccup there, but still in 2nd place behind the Portuguese, who have 12. Bulgaria up against the Welshmen in Group 7. A packed house in Sofia. Really was a most enthusiastic crowd, showing their appreciation of Stoichkov early on, and then that goal when it wung in. The crowd going suitably potty. It really was a master strike from Balakov. We can have a look at it again. Calm as anything. Shame about his teammates. Not quite the same. Reserved emotions. Watch this. He really did lean back and bury it. Couldn't have gone anywhere else. The angle so acute. Well, after half-time, it really was party time in Sofia. Bulgaria all over the Welshman. With the absence of Hughes and Rush, both men sorely missed. And Stoichkov got one in. Bellied it in, as opposed to wellied it in. Kostadinov, I'm sure, wishing to claim it. Look at this, off the gut. I think I could score a few of those. While Bulgaria not content with 2. Penev in space, no one at the back. That was 3-0. And while all the celebrations were going on, Bulgaria able to relax a little. Dean Saunders pinching one back to polite applause. Disastrous campaign for the Welsh. Lost 5-0 against Georgia, 3-2 against Moldova. Let's see the group. And there it is, guess who's at the bottom? Wales. Then climbing up, it's Albania, Moldova. Who'd have believed those teams could be above the Welshmen? Georgia. But really, it's all between the 2 teams. Bulgaria on Germany, both with maximum points. And the Bulgarians with a superb goal difference. Well, in Group 8, Russia versus the Scots. And the hero of the night had to be Jim Leighton. Russia playing in the white. Leighton was making some absolutely outstanding saves. Well, that wasn't too difficult, but believe me, he certainly made some fine efforts on the evening. Well, debuts for Jaron Jackson and Colin Calderwood, and really they did the business, the Scots, closing down the Russians in front of 60,000 in Moscow. So a job well done for the Scotsmen, as it turned out. It leaves Scotland mid-table, and it really was bombardment time as Russia threw everything forward, trying to please the home crowd. Leighton in their way as much as anyone else. Goalless then. And we can take a look at the way Group 8 is shaping up now. And there it is, another result from Group 8 tonight. Finland beating San Marino 2-0 away from home. San Marino just above the Faroe Islands. Greece topping this one with 12 points from 4 games. Then it's the Finns on 9 from 5. Scotland still in with more than a shout. Well, in group number 1, Romania up against the Poles. Battle of Eastern Europe. And a battle royal it turned out to be as well. Foul of Stila on Juskowiak produced the penalty. A dodgy decision to say the very least. Juskowiak then standing up, didn't look too injured, did he? And buried it just before the break. Well, Romania in their traditional yellow showed plenty of character, to say the very least, in the World Cup, and that was on display once again. Lovely strike from Radichoiu, leveling things up just before the break. Injury time indeed in the first half. How he found that angle, only he will know. Well, there was more as we went further into injury time. Beladadici off the crossbar, feeling aggrieved. But in the second half, Prodin found the net. The Poles appealing desperately, saying their goalkeeper had been hampered by Radichoiu. But Prodin's efforts heading goal-wise. Romania 2, Poland 1. Well, not the only game in Group 1. France in the white, travelling to Israel, desperate to bury a few ghosts, as we said. Remember that match in Parc des Princes, in France's build-up to what they hoped would be a World Cup campaign. Israel beat them that night, and I tell you what, they looked like they could have done the same on this evening. Revivo going close. Only the efforts of Bernard Lama, and some luck it was too, that stopped this one going in. Well, France were throwing everything at this one. A lot of face to be saved, and a few sad memories for them to be buried if they could. Wedek's efforts denied by Guinebert, the goalkeeper. And indeed, Guinebert was in athletic form on the night. Le Guen, after the break, denied once again. Tabanin. The amount to watch this guy, who was sending in plenty to Lama. He was equal to them, and it finished goalless. Let's look at Group 1. And a busy night indeed in Group 1. Slovakia up against Azerbaijan. Slovakia taking it 4-1, moving up into 4th place. Azerbaijan firmly rooted to the base, just behind Poland. But top of the pile is Romania with 11 points from 5, then Israel and France. And Group 5 busy as well. The Czech Republic beating Belarus 4-2. Luxembourg going down at home against the Norse. The Norwegians 2-0. And the Netherlands beating Malta 4-0. It means Norway stay top on 13 points from 5. The Netherlands with 11 from 5. Heavy. Plenty of European soccer action last night. The international qualifiers, of course, for England next year. So England not there, involved in a goalless draw with Uruguay in their friendly build-up. But Spain up against Belgium. And what a match this one turned out to be in Group 2. Opener after 24. Guerrero. So Spain, 1 up and looking tasty. They're certainly controlling Group 2 at the moment. Although De Gries out to spoil the party for the Spaniards. Well, Spain, set-piece masters. This one parried beautifully by the Belgian keeper, and 1 apiece it finished in this Group 2 match. Well, also in Group 2, Cyprus up against the Danes. And indeed, surprise results on the night. Schoenberg with the opener in just the 2nd minute. And I can tell you, just before half-time, disastrous mistake at the back. Agathocleus levelling the scores. It went 1 apiece on the night. It was a huge shock to Denmark. The crowd in Cyprus, more than appreciative. Limassol still celebrating. Well, we can take a look how Group 2 settled down for you right now. And there it is, Spain on top with 13 points. So clear, it's unbelievable. Very tight behind them, though. Macedonia, Denmark, Cyprus and Belgium, all with 5 points. The Cypriots giving us some good run for their money, as you saw in Limassol. Excellent stuff in Group 2, Euro 96 approaching. Into Group 3, Turkey playing here in the white up against Sweden. Well, Thomas Darlin, the darling of the Swedes, after 23 minutes, picked up a penalty. And Kenneth Anderson slotted it home. Well, I tell you, Sweden were in for something of a surprise. Turkey, known to be a very tough team to beat, especially on home turf. Ask any Manchester United fan. And I can tell you, they slotted 2 home against Sweden to take it 2-1. That was the first. Empre with the header. After 64, levelling the scores. The Swedes all over the place. Ravanelli didn't know what he was doing. And then, would you believe it, just 11 minutes later, Sergen cheering them all in Turkey. Were claims for offside, not a bit of it. He was clean. And indeed, Turkey started piling on the pressure. Demands for a penalty. Resulting in a red card for the Swedes. Didn't alter the scoreline though. Turkey 2, Sweden 1. Great game in Group 3. Well, also in Group 3, the Hungarians in their traditional red up against Switzerland, and this really was to be a bit of a ding-dong battle. All square until the 2nd half. Then in the 50th minute, a magnificent header from Kiprich read the keeper's advances perfectly. Put it behind him. You can see it in slow motion. It really was an excellent strike. Look at that. So 1-0 to the Hungarians. They made it 2 shortly after. And really, it looked like the Swiss. They've done a lot of great things of late. They're on their way home with their tail between their legs. Illis making it 2-0. Well, there's a real fillip for Hungary at this point. Certainly looked like they were going to climb up Group 3. But Switzerland never to be outdone. Nestor Subiat bearing the header just a minute after Illis had put Hungary 2-0 up. So that was 2-1. The Hungarians getting a little slack towards the end of the game, and indeed with just 5 minutes remaining, Subiat taking advantage of the confusion. 2-2 it was to finish. So let's go to Group 3 and see how it's settling down. And there it is, Switzerland on top with 10 points after that minor hiccup. Turkey in 2nd place with 7. Then it's Sweden, Hungary and poor old Iceland at the bottom. In Group 4, the Ukraine playing here in the blue up against Italy in those unfamiliar white shirts. Well, the shirts may have been unfamiliar, but the style, we've seen so much of it this season. Lombardo, after just 11 minutes, putting Italy ahead. And it wasn't long before Casaraggi added to the score sheet. Italy, of course, runners-up in the World Cup. Their flair there for all to see. 2-0 in the first half. And that's the way it stayed as the Ukraine pushed forward in the second. Italy battened down the hatches, kept the advantage. 2-0 the final score to the Italians. And Group 4 looks like this. Slovenia beating Estonia 3-0, and it was scoreless between Lithuania and Croatia. Croatia staying on top with 13 points from their 5 games. Italy with 10 points from the same amount. 5 games still to play, though. Welcome back in Rotterdam. The Dutch in their familiar orange strips up against Malta. They needed a hatful. Well, they got half a hatful. Opening strike by Seedorf, breaking the deadlock just before half-time. The Maltese had put up amazing resistance up to that point, but it really was the most amazing strike. Jos Højdonck's had a bad time at home. Only been in charge 2 games, lost them both, friendlies of course. Well, Bergkamp fouled with 25 to go. Made it 2-0. And then the celebrations had begun. The Dutch started to relax, and their familiar style began to prevail. Winter making it count close in, and Kluivert with the final goal in front of 33,000 in Rotterdam. Holland 4, Malta 0. Well, it has to be said, there are other teams that may score more against the Maltese. Let's look at the table. Well, before we do that, excuse me, we have Luxembourg-Norway from Group 5. The Norwegians, England eaters. Look at the conditions, unbelievable. Perfect for Norwegians, though, it seems. Lennartson making it 1-0 just after the half hour and 10 minutes from time. Asa, it was to bury the game. A tremendous amount of snow falling. As you can see, the ball changed colour. But the colour of Norway's credentials staying just the same. Luxembourg 0, Norway 2. 3,031 people turning up to see this one. Our sympathies with all those that stayed at home. Norway then, 13 points from 5. Netherlands in second place with 11 points from their 5 games. The Czech Republic are third after beating Bielorussia 4-2. The Maltese at the bottom just behind Luxembourg. In Group 6, the Battle of Lansdowne Road thankfully took place on the pitch as opposed to in the stands. Ireland up against the North. Niall Quinn just in the second half made them all happy, but something of a hiccup. And around 500 Ulster fans making their voices heard. Gordon Dowie all alone. Where on earth was Paul McGrath and Phil Babb? Bit of a mix-up at the back. Dowie levelling it in the 73rd. One apiece it finished. Well, also in the same group, Austria against Latvia. Latvia in the red. Austria, though, tidier outfits of late. Herzog started their ball rolling on the night. That was an impressive performance by the Austrians. Well, they've had a terrible run of results internationally for quite some years. Pfeifenberger showing how much they've changed just before the break. Lovely control, hint perhaps of a deflection. Herzog got himself on the score sheet once again, tidying up amidst the errors. That was 3. And Latvia, well, they began to panic a little. Goal difference could count for so much, of course, as Austria started to go for it. Well, Dieter Ramos looked like he'd been fouled, if at all, certainly outside of the area, right on the edge of the box. Penalty, however, whistled, and Polster, little stutter, hint of illegality about that. It was 4-0 with just 10 minutes remaining, and it still wasn't all over. And that snow that we'd seen in Luxembourg started to reach the Austrian Tyrol. Polster, watch this. Little shimmy, lovely curling ball. It was 5-0 on the night to the Austrians. Rather pleased with themselves. So let's take a rundown of the positions in Group 6. There we go. Portugal, top of the pile with 12 points from their 4 matches. Ireland with 10 from the same amount. Northern Ireland into 3rd place, 7 points from 5 games. Austria in with more than a shout in this group, currently 4th ahead of Latvia and Liechtenstein. Well, Group 7, Georgia against the Germans. And it's that man again, isn't it? Just can't stop scoring this season, not only for but internationally as well. Just 24 minutes before Klinsmann opened the scoring. Well, the best efforts from the Georgians coming to naught in Tbilisi. 75,000 turning up for this. And when you know it's around about 2 weeks' wages for one of these tickets, it's impressive stuff. Passions running high then. Klinzy, though, unimpressed. 2-0 to Germany. And it could have been more, as you see. Marcus Babel hitting the post, and the best efforts of the Georgians, saved by Kopka. So 2-0 to Germany. Bulgaria beating the Welsh 3-1. Dismal campaign for the boys from the valleys. Albania beating Moldova 3-0, and this is how Group 7 looks. Bulgaria at the top, ahead of Germany on goal difference. Wales at the foot. And Group 8 for you. Scotland did tremendous stuff, holding Russia to a 0-0 draw. Plenty of time for the Scots to make their impression here. San Marino going down against Finland. 2-0. Greece top of the pile here with 12 from 4. Finland in 2nd place ahead of the Scots. Well, in Group 1, Slovakia against Azerbaijan. The former communist states providing our packed calendar. Tittle it was. We started the ball rolling, the orange ball, for Slovakia, playing in the blue. Lovely strike from the youngster. Well, Slovakia looking very confident at this new international level. Timko keeping his head. It really did look like a game from the 70s, didn't it? Terrible conditions. Azerbaijan defense all over the place, drawn easily. Timko punishing them. Well, Stupala brought down. Dubovsky it was who sent it home, cheering the 12,500 who turned up in Kozici in these dreadful conditions. And they had a game on their hands, they really did. Well, the home supporters at least. 5 minutes into the second half, it was 4-0 for Slovakia. Azerbaijan feeling sorry for themselves, perhaps. And they had to wait long and hard to get on the score sheet themselves. It finally came from the penalty spot. Suleimanov making it Slovakia 4, Azerbaijan 1. Well, also in Group 1, France failing to bury those ghosts of Israel and their World Cup campaign. 0-0 it finished in Israel. And Romania beating Poland 2-1. Romania stay top, 11 points from 5. Israel in second place with 9 from 5. Then it's France with 7 from 5 games.
4 Wochen später, wieder in Salzburg, gelingt gegen Liechtenstein ein Blitzstart.
Ramusch. Und die Chance zum Tor, jawohl. Kübauer, 1:0 nach 7 Minuten. Herzog. Polster. Und ganz locker schiebt er den Ball in aller Ruhe ins Tor hinein. Und nach 10 Minuten das erste Polster-Tor in diesem Spiel. Sein 29. Treffer im Team. Und 2:0 für Österreich.
Und nach nur 17 Minuten das 3:0, vorbereitet von Kübauer und Ramusch, erzielt von Debütant Herfried Sabitzer. Bis zum 4. Tor, da dauert es aber ein bisschen.
48. Minute, Elfmeter für Österreich. Toni Polster. Und gehalten von Öri. Gehalten von Öri. Er avanciert hier ja gerade noch zum Helden von Liechtenstein mit seinen Taten jetzt, aber er hat das Eck erkannt und dann ist es immer ein bisschen eng für den Schützen.
Aber nach Foul an Sabitzer bekommt Polster 5 Minuten später eine zweite Chance. Und diesmal nützt er sie. 4:0. Länderspieltor Nummer 30 für den Kapitän. Erst in den letzten 6 Minuten fallen 3 weitere Treffer, alle durch Reservisten. Zuerst Markus Pürk bei seinem Teamdebüt 5:0. Und dann zweimal Adi Hütter.
Hoppala. Peter Adner.
Sehr schöner Zug.
Tor!
Ein super Tor.
Und sowas kann nur der Adi Hütter aus dieser Distanz. Adi Hütter, sein zweiter Treffer in diesem Spiel.
Das 7:0 gegen Liechtenstein, ein Kantersieg. Die Chance auf einen Rekordsieg, die wurde vergeben, aber Österreich ist wieder im EM-Geschäft.
The Northern Ireland side included Wrexham defender Barry Hunter, who was making his debut, but they were without the injured Sunderland striker Phil Gray. Commentary comes from Jackie Fullerton.
Babyshev. Play on. Kevin Wilson gives it to Gillespie. Gillespie runs his man. Oh, that's a good ball in. Dowie! And that was a tremendous save. And there's a shot on the bench. Brian Hamilton can't believe it. That's the 1-2 that worked so well to produce the goal in Dublin. There's the cross from Gillespie. The header from Dowie, but this time the keeper made a fantastic save. Brugge. That was off Wilson. Orlick in again, but loses out to Askafiev. Will try it, takes a deflection. Yeliseyev going in, that's a good save. It's not away yet. And Fetis did ever so well. And this time Northern Ireland come away with it. Colin Hill. But the Latvians a real chance just before half-time from number 11, Yeliseyev. And a very good save indeed by Alan Fetis. Hughes. Here's Worthington. Does well. Right foot. It's not away yet. Horlock on the fly. Hill. And that was Zemlinskis to get it away with the header. But the green shirts have more urgency. McDonald has stayed up. Kevin Wilson is in there. Dowie, Hill, and it's wide of the post. So once again, the cross ball causing a few problems. And I'm sure Michael Hughes there in your picture, like Gillespie, has been told at halftime to get those crosses in. But Horlock again wins it. Hill away from his man. Oh dear, and he's run straight through. Is it Botkis who's gone down there? But we play on. Gillespie to pick it up. Could try a shot from there. Does. And Dowie just couldn't make it. Has a penalty been given? A penalty has been given. I think Dowie was claiming. Let's see. Gillespie through. And there it is. Yes, pushed by Troieskis. A few whistles. They're not too happy with the decision. So Dowie to make it 1-0, and does. So the cheers below me. The Northern Ireland supporters in the crowds on their feet. And that's Dowie's 5th international goal. He got the one in Dublin last month, which meant so much to get the draw against the Republic. Well, he buries it. Wilson turned well. Chance out for the cross. Oh, Quinn, and that's a marvellous save. And right at the death, Jimmy Quinn almost with a second. And how did he keep it out? And a terrific finish to the game from Northern Ireland. It's all over. A 1-0 win for Northern Ireland. The only goal coming from an Ian Dowie penalty 20 minutes from the end. To joy here in Riga for Brian Hamilton and Northern Ireland. Final score, Latvia 0, Northern Ireland 1.
One other result in that group, Austria 7, Liechtenstein 0. The win for Jack Charlton's team takes them back to the top of the group, and Northern Ireland stay in 3rd place and keep their qualification hopes alive. How do you feel about tonight?
Goal action now from the match between Norway and Luxembourg, and this was to be a disappointing night for the Luxembourg keeper, Paul Kopp. The opening goal coming from Jakobsen after 11 minutes, and a somersault to go with it. Well, Minnie Jakobsen certainly enjoying the celebrations. Quality cross and a super finish. Holland and Czechoslovakia involved it also in this group, and a good win for the Czechs against the Dutch. But Norway needed the goals, and Jan Åge Fjørtoft, who opened his account for his English club side Middlesbrough in a big game at Barnsley over the weekend. Well, he got an international goal here against Luxembourg. Plenty of space for him, and it's squeezed in off Paul Kopp, and the now typical Fjørtoft celebrations, giving Norway a 2-goal lead after 12 minutes. Luxembourg defence had crumbled, but this was a very poor goal from them to give away. The two centre defenders in together, Fjørtoft in off the deflection of Paul Kopp. 2-0 Norway after 12 minutes. Well, it was from the set piece that the 3rd goal came, and Kopp could only punch it away. And claims for offside as Bratak, the defender, got an unusual opportunity inside the 6-yard box. The first international goal, and the smiles on the Norwegian's face as Harald Bratak scoring on his international debut. Well, all credit there to Lars Bohinen. Who really made the life simple for Bretat, who scored on his international debut. Well, into the second half, and a lovely flick setting up a fourth goal for Henning Berg. And now it was just a question of how many for Norway. A decisive result here in front of over 15,000. And Henning Berg, what a year it could be for him. Well, the little flick at the near post, delightful. And Berg arriving to make no mistake. Well, the conditions far from ideal here. Drizzle in near freezing conditions, but Fjortov's touch there was superb, and Berg took full advantage. Well, Minnie Jacobsen won possession here and took the return, and Rekdal combined. Superb action from Norway. 49 minutes played, and Kjetil Rekdal with the finish, but Minnie Jacobsen involved in so much of the build-up play. A great goal, smiles all round for Norway. Well, Jacobsen here combining with a little dummy, and that was Fjortov. 5-0 Norway. They couldn't add to it, but they'll be happy with that result against Luxembourg. Final score in Oslo, 5-0 Norway. Right, let's run through for you then all the results. France 4, Slovakia 0, as we've seen. Poland 4.
Calderwood's header has found Collins, and Scotland just breaking here with a bit more space in front of them. Can they make it tell? Oh, Collins has slipped through. Benedictini comes out, still Collins. He just had the strength to keep his legs and keep his balance. And John Clint of Celtic has opened things up. Here's Spencer. Managed to get it back. Here's Gary McAllister. The hands are in the air. Somebody wants it. Yes, it's there. And it's Calderwood, I think. Yes, Colin Calderwood. What a time to deliver your first goal for your country.
In recent friendlies, Greece have tried as many as 19 players in one game. But against Russia, who are in blue, they had to make do with only 10 after Yanis Karitsakis was sent off in the 25th minute. Soon afterwards, Yuri Nikiforov's free kick put Russia ahead. Not even the passionate Salonika crowd could revive Greece. In the second half, an own goal was followed within a minute by a killer blow from Vladimir Beschasnik. Greece 0, Russia 3. But Finland, having scored 4 times in the Faroe Islands, have a healthy goal difference to keep them clear of Greece and a point ahead of Scotland. But next time, the Scots have a go at the Faroes.
A pre-match salute to the great Eusebio could have served warning that Portugal are re-established as a power in European football. But the Republic of Ireland aren't impressed by reputations.
Here's Staunton. Forward again for Quinn. George Costa out of the middle. Slid through beautifully for Staunton. Still Steve Staunton. The old stager gets his 18th. But it's Vika Bahia who stands shamefacedly there because he's thrown one in, and Ireland have got what they deserve.
It was another heady night of success for Jack Charlton's Jolly Green Army. But could his northern counterpart, Brian Hamilton, inspire similar in Latvia? Nothing less than a win would keep their qualification hopes alive.
Hill, away from his man. Oh dear, and he's run straight through. Is it Bolkis who's gone down there? But we play on. Gillespie to pick it up. Could try the shot from there. Does. And Dowie just couldn't make it. Has a penalty been given? A penalty has been given. I think Dowie was claiming. Gillespie through, and there it is. Yes, pushed by Troieskis. So Dowie
to make it 1-0, and does.
7 goals was the scoreline by which Austria routed the minnows of the group Liechtenstein, although team coach Herbert Prohaska complained afterwards that his team had lacked ideas, with 3 of the goals coming in the last 7 minutes. Those results mean the Republic of Ireland have replaced Portugal at the top of Group 6 on 13 points. Northern Ireland's game in Portugal in September should be decisive for them.
It was a below-strength German team that Jürgen Klinsmann captained in Düsseldorf, and it was against a Wales team humiliated in earlier matches with something to prove.
Coleman, Saunders is not offside, the German stood back, Saunders, and that's a great start by Wales, Dean Saunders, 7 minutes gone. Would you believe it? Wales, the underdogs, have taken the lead. Erlich goes for the shot, and that's on the volley, and the equaliser from nothing really.
Germany stays second in the group as a result of Bulgaria's victory in Moldova. But those two are the likely qualifiers from this group. They meet each other in June in a repeat of their World Cup quarter-final.
Italy's game in Lithuania was preceded by a minute's silence for the 23-year-old Juventus player Andrea Fortunato, who died from leukemia the night before. 1 goal decided the match, Parma's Gianfranco Zola scoring direct from this 12th-minute free kick for his 4th goal in 3 games. Only 12 minutes gone in the game between Croatia and Slovenia wearing the green when the home goalkeeper Dražen Ladic was sent off, charging out of his area to bring down number 11 Klea. 10-man Croatia still went on to win the game though, courtesy of a superb 17th-minute free kick by Robert Prosinecki. And then in the 90th minute, a fine individual goal from Davor Zucker. Zucker, a player who could soon be on his way to Italy. Croatia are one of the form teams of the moment, and that result keeps them the leaders of Group 4, 3 points ahead of Italy, who they play in Croatia in October. No one else is in contention.
Sweden's chances of appearing in the European Championship finals they hosted in 1992 are fading fast. In Budapest, they went down to a goal by Hungary's Gabor Halmai, scored after only 2 minutes. It was only the first win in 4 games for the Hungarians. In Bern, Turkey, in white, took advantage of a Swiss side deprived by injury of several first-choice players. A clever goal by Hakan of Galatasaray gave the Turks the lead. It lasted for 20 minutes until a shot from Newcastle's Mark Hottiger took a deflection that deceived Engin. But in the second half, the Swiss were caught out again. Ogun scored his first goal in 24 internationals. And back in Istanbul, that set them already contemplating their country's first appearance in the final stages of a major tournament since the 1954 World Cup finals. They sit on top of the group, ahead of Switzerland on goal difference. Sweden have ground to make up. Hungary have a game in hand.